You're watching the Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals presented by Roan Law. Tonight, it's the conference lid lifter for a pair of teams with championship aspirations. From Fred E. Lewis Stadium, it's Reagan paying a visit to East Forsyth. And we welcome you to Kernersville. Chris Edwards, happy to be alongside Mark Covert and delighted to have you with us. Mark, tonight an early season litmus test for these two clubs, both thinking they've got a shot at a state championship.
Yeah, they've got championship aspirations, Chris. We're going to see who's going to come out stronger to begin this one here tonight.
They're dominant playmakers all across the field. We'll start with Reagan. It begins with their running back, John Gillette. Reagan head coach Josh McGee said he's the best competitor that he's ever coached. And certainly high praise.
Think about how high of that praise it is. An all-around weapon for this offense. John Gillette is the man that makes it all run. They need to make sure they're feeding him in the air and on the ground here tonight. Now flip it on over to the East Forsyth side. Quarterback Jalen Alexander is the leader of this offense, a multi-dimensional player at the quarterback position. He's going to need to take some pressure off of this running game here tonight to get this offense going.
All right, for more on our class tonight, let's say hi to the third member of our team. Here's Hannah Brady.
Thanks, guys. We're here for another Friday night matchup as East Forsyth takes on the Reagan Raiders. East Forsyth is currently undefeated as they are 3-0, and they're hoping to continue that undefeated season here tonight. Earlier this week, we asked head coach Todd Willard what his thoughts were coming into this game, and he said, you know, Reagan is really good offensively, and he's seen a lot of good improvement throughout their season. Reagan has already played a really tough schedule as they played the number 2 and 6 ranked teams in their conference. Excited to see these teams battle it out here tonight. Chris and Mark, back to you.
Hannah, thanks a lot. Going to be a good one tonight. Reagan has never won here at East Forsyth. Will the Raiders swarm the nest, or is it going to be the Eagles who are going to soar it home? We'll find out next, right here on My 48. Great energy for this matchup tonight. Reagan at East Forsyth from Kernersville. Chris Edwards, Mark Covert, great to have you with us. East Forsyth won the toss to the evening, deferred their option to the second half. So we're ready to get things going here from Fred E. Lewis Stadium. It's our first Arnold Jones Services Heating and Air kickoff this evening. And off we go, the 14th meeting all time between these two teams. Andrew Conrad with his 23rd touchback of the season. And it'll be the Reagan offense that will start first down and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
Can't wait for this one. The energy already right off the bat, Chris, is so much higher than something you find maybe in other spots throughout the area. This is such a huge matchup, a great rivalry, and we're going to see what Reagan's got to start this one.
Led by their senior quarterback, Cam Hill. There's Todd Willard, the head coach of East Forsyth. He has been roaming the sidelines here in Kernersville for 19 seasons. a couple of state championships for the Eagles, including back-to-back titles in 2018 and 2019. Reagan trying to prove that they are one of the best teams in this league. They start on the ground to the Raiders, and it's Gillette who is strung out, trying to get to the edge. A flag is down, and he's out across the 20-yard line, again, a 2. And before we check the flag, a look at the starting lineup tonight for this offense for Reagan.
Number 2 is the ball carrier.
And the Reagan offense, the starting lineup is brought to you by the United States Navy. Set your career in motion. Call your local Navy recruiter today. America's Navy, forged by the sea.
Cam Hill and John Gillette right there, 1 and 2, the 2 stars on this offense. Can see if they can get something going here early on in this one. You already saw the power of Gillette on the first one. Nice stiff arm to get the guy down. You know, we talked about it, Chris. This is an electric guy, but not a huge guy in his own right. But still shows a lot of strength and speed.
Penalty was against Reagan, so that will back the Raiders up 10 yards. It'll be first down and very long here as they replay the down, 8 seconds into the game. Cam Hill, 56% completion percentage for the senior quarterback who has really grown as a leader in the eyes of head coach Josh McGee. Wilkins is the motion man. Play action. Hill wants to throw. Flushed. Back to his own goal line. He's under siege. Ball comes out. It's loose in the end zone. And it might be East Forsyth on defense. Who strikes first? Let's sort it out. And it is a touchdown for the Eagles. No, a safety for East Forsyth.
Right there, the pressure right away. First passing attempt for Cam Hill. Drops back. Nowhere to go with the football because he doesn't have time to set his feet and survey the field. Great pressure getting into the backfield by that East Forsyth defense, and then finishing the deal by logging in a safety. You just see here the pressure relentless. 4 Eagles in that area making a play on the football, and it forces the first 2 points of tonight's contest.
It was David Smith, the starting defensive tackle, in there with Bryant Williams to help forge the pressure and pick up the safety, the first of the season for the Eagles.
Again, you just see all that pressure, and Hill has nowhere to go, just tries to get it out of the end zone. Savvy play by number 1 there, but drops it right before it can get down on the ground. Dangerous play, trying to make something happen for his team. Just can't get there, and a rocky start to say the least for this Reagan team.
And Josh McGee and his team down 2-0 here early. And Coach McGee, who has done a really nice job cultivating the talent at this program for Reagan. He's in his 10th season. We'll get more into his story as the night progresses, but just a really tough start for Coach McGee, who's coaching up his young quarterback.
Well, I think we kind of talked about how with this Reagan team, if they want a chance in this contest here tonight, they need to come out and make a statement early on. And right now, they've already fallen behind the 8 ball, and they're about to give it back to this Eagles offense, who's finally going to be able to step on the field for the first time tonight. So they've got to make a stand here and get momentum to swing back towards their way.
It'll be Rocco Gigalotti to kick it off. Another Arnold Jones kickoff at Arnold Jones Services Heating and Air. We can handle all your heating and air conditioning needs. Short kick, and this one will be blown dead. A flag, perhaps a offside on this Reagan kickoff unit. And you want to talk about a start that has been less than ideal. This has been it for the Raiders.
Yeah, you talk about penalty on the first play from scrimmage, and then obviously the sack, fumble, and then safety ensuing after that, and now a penalty on the kickoff. So that's 3 straight plays with miscues for this Reagan team. You got to find a way to settle back down, get these kids back under control and calm them back down so they can play at the level of football I think we all know that they're capable of playing.
It's a team that's 1-2, sure, but man, they've been battle tested 6 of their first 7 games, the stretch they're in now, against teams that are ranked in the top 16 of North Carolina. And they've already faced the gauntlet. Teams like Myers Park, teams like Grimsley, North Davidson as well. Really good teams to start the season for the Raiders, who are not by any means overwhelmed by the moment or the atmosphere. Trying to win for the first time ever here at Lewis Stadium, but behind the 8 ball early, and Gigalotti to put it in play again. And this returnable for East Forsyth. This is Jamon Smith. Smith into the second level, and an ankle tackle made in plus territory. Exit Mattis, the linebacker, with a touchdown-saving tackle there after a 29-yard return.
Way to stay in his lane that time, too. Close that one down before he can get a full head of steam and reach the end zone. Like you said, Chris, a touchdown-saving tackle. Nevertheless, great field position to start their first drive here for the East Forsyth Eagles.
Led by Jalen Rayner, the quarterback. 66% completion percentage for Rayner, who was 5 of 12 for 158 yards last week, but look for the Eagles to keep it on the ground. Rayner starts on the option, sidesteps one tackle, and is slung down out near the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 7, and a nice play on first down for Todd Willard's offense. Here's a look at the starting lineup for East Forsyth offensively. Watch out for guys like Porter and Ingram in the backfield.
Yeah, absolutely. This is such a dynamic offense. So many playmakers across the board. They can really go in any direction, passing it or running it. And they got a lot of success from their skill position players.
Rashawn Brown, the wide receiver, already 3 collegiate offers. He will be involved in the offense tonight, you imagine, too.
We've got stars all over the field. I mean, we've got recruits like crazy here tonight on this field.
Play clock inside of 10. 4 wide receivers. Rayner to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Lofts one this way. Skying up is Jamon Stokes for an incredible catch. And no, they'll wave it off. I believe they're going to say that Stokes is out of bounds. They will.
Oh, I want to get a look at this one, because that was a tremendous catch down the field. Great pass. Taking that one down. We're going to get a look at it here. Good patience, nice pocket, solid protection up front. Let's see here, may have stepped just out of bounds.
I don't, unless he stepped out before
the catch was made.
But if he stepped out before, that would be a flag for an illegal receiver downfield. It looked to me like he was in.
Exactly.
I think Todd Willard's got a beef with that one.
Yeah.
And of course, that one coming right in your living room. Phenomenal work by our crew, the best in the business. So now 3rd down and 3. Todd Willard talked about his offenses need to be better on 3rd downs. They were 0 of 4 on 3rd down last week. Rayner trying to pick a hole, loses his towel, but does pick up the first down. Another Crescent Ford of High Point first down. Ride to the game in style with a new F-150 from Crescent Ford of High Point.
I'll tell you what, Chris, Reagan was right there to make that play. Just knifed through the offensive line right there. Rayner's able to make the play, get around the offensive lineman that time, and scoot his way for a first down. Nice play from the quarterback, number 1.
It's funny, Todd Willard talking about his teams need to be better on 3rd down. Again, 0 of 4 last week. They still scored 59 points.
Right.
Coachable moment, I get it. Play action, pressure from behind, and a sack. It's the Will linebacker, Nick Hall, with his team-leading 33rd tackle of the year, and maybe that's the spark for the Raiders.
And what a great play call that time. Up front for this Reagan defense, as you see the starting lineup there, but a great call knifing through the offensive line and making a play for a sack.
It's a 3-4 defense there for Reagan. Their 10th sack of the season.
And it is a defense that's built to attack. They apply pressure.
And before the play begins, a flag from the back judge. It's been a busy night already for this officiating crew, spearheaded by Carlos Torren.
Well, I think you're going to see 2 teams tonight that also, we talk about all the weapons they both have across the board, whether it's offensively or defensively. But they also like to change the tempo. They can slow it down if they need to and start playing that hurry-up kind of tempo as well. They have the weapons and the athleticism to do that. I'm going to keep a track on that to see how fast each team wants to go. But I love this start so far, Chris. I love how we've seen strengths for both teams as well.
They will wave off the flag. Okay.
But you just kind of see the level that we're at here tonight with the athletes that are on the field. College offers galore. These are 2 high-powered teams ready to make a statement.
4 wide receivers here for the Eagles. Play clock dwindling for the Eagles. Already up by 2 on their first offensive drive of the game. Rayner steps up, home run ball, far sideline, and knocked away. Good play in the secondary that time by this Reagan defense, trying to target Sean Brown, but it was Landon Callahan, the corner, in coverage.
What a great play by Callahan back there. Great ball delivered right into the pocket of his receiver. And Callahan just step for step. What a breakup on that one. Saves potentially a touchdown, if not a long gain.
Yeah, Brown's been targeted by a lot of college teams. He's already got offers from Coastal Carolina, Duke, and Charlotte. More coming his way, just a junior. And again, more laundry on the field before the play can begin.
Such a dynamic athlete is Brown. You're talking about 60 rushing yards, 97 receiving. And in the kick return game, he's got 138-4, as well as 80 in the punt department too. So a true all-around weapon for this East Forsyth team.
There's Josh McGee, the head coach of Reagan. His sideline just flagged for a sideline warning. No infraction there. Coach McGee, a terrific quarterback during his playing days, both in high school and in college. We'll get into his story later, but quarterback at Winston-Salem State. On 3rd down and long, another pass into the flats, skying up. Stokes hauls this one in and then takes a vicious hit out of bounds. A clean play. A nice pickup, though, as it's the first completion of the night to Stokes, his 6th catch of the season, and a gain of 15.
Nice little play design that time, too. Just get your out receivers out wide, work the sideline, and no one's home. A little bit of zone coverage on the back end for that one on Reagan. And set yourself now with a manageable 4th down attempt coming up.
Kind of a no man's land here. 4th down and 2. Reagan going to go for it, or he's going to go for it. And to the ground, this is Traylon Ingram, and I don't know, he might be a little bit short here, Mark.
Oh, that's close. What a play by Ingram. In space that time to come up strong and make a nice tackle in the open field. But it is close.
It was Ingram on the carry, Thacker up to make the stop that time. And I believe he's going to be short. The officials are not going to measure. It is a turnover on down. So, like a willow tree, this Reagan defense is able to bend but not break. Down by 2, they get the football back.
And just what they needed to get back in this one. Swing that momentum back into their favor. Now it's a neutral playing field, essentially. Only 2-point game, of course, with the safety. But no harm, no foul. Great stand by that Reagan defense after starting the possession in negative territory.
What do you want to see out of this Reagan offense?
A little bit more consistency. We know that Gillette is the guy to go to in this offense, but Cam Hill and that offensive line have to produce here tonight to take some of the pressure off of number 2 in the backfield.
This drive begins just north of the 20-yard line, so 79 yards for the Raiders to go for pay dirt. Gillette, the single setback. Read option, it's Gillette straight ahead and muscles his way for maybe 3. Brings up 2nd down.
Nice push up front by that offensive line. I was about to say, when you just look at them here on the screen, that's a sizable line that Reagan is working with. And you got to think with what they've got. You see their record 1-2. You had to figure they went through a gauntlet early in the season. You can make the argument, Chris, that no team played a harder non-conference schedule than Reagan did.
Josh McGee, their head coach, telling us this week they played that non-conference schedule because they know that's going to set them up for the conference season, which begins tonight. Back to Gillette, trying to bounce one outside and upended nicely. Going to bring up 3rd down after a gain of 2. Coach McGee didn't mince any words. He said, we're out here to win our conference, and it starts tonight.
Well, and it's such a tough conference. I mean, you look at the members here. If you thought the non-conference schedule for Reagan was rough, this is murderer's row as a conference.
Take a look at the starting lineup for the East Forsyth defense now, brought to you by the United States Navy. And it's that 4-2-5 look defensively for Todd Willard's club.
Look for Nick Martin to get a little bit of pressure here on this one. And Isaiah Crowell, the leader, the backbone of this defense for the Eagles of East Forsyth.
Yeah, Crowell, the commit to North Carolina State, will play for Dave Doran next season. First 3rd down of the night for this Reagan offense, facing a 3rd down and medium. And before the play, a false start coming here on the Raiders. It has been a laundry fest in the first 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah, just so antsy, trying to make something happen. Of course, you want to rebound from that first drive, but you also have to play within yourself, stay composed. That's not the way to do it. Now from a manageable 3rd down attempt, you're looking at 3rd and long back towards the original line of scrimmage.
I imagine the play call changes 3rd and 5 versus 3rd and 10.
Well, it definitely closes down the playbook. You have to start throwing here. Realistically, that's what you want to do.
And now East jumping into the neutral zone, so the offensive line giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah. That may just be a byproduct of the energy that we talked about already, Chris. I mean, you can feel that there's something in the air here tonight, just so palpable. The energy is here this evening between both crowds.
Yeah, they were packed in here when we started arriving earlier this afternoon. 3rd down and 5. Early in the opening stanza between these two rivals, meeting for the 14th time. Hill audibling the play at the line. To pass. Flushed. Dumps one downfield. Nice catch made out of the backfield and room to run here. This is VJ Wilkins down the sideline. And Wilkins with a house call. Touchdown. 74 yards. And it's Reagan who takes the lead.
Love the play call. Great composure by Cam Hill. Sitting back in the pocket that time, moves just a little bit to get himself set up, keeps his eyes downfield, and what a strike over the middle. And from there, it was all catch and run after that. Speed and afterburners down the sideline. What a play. And Reagan right back in this thing.
A Sunbelt Rentals touchdown for Reagan. Sunbelt Rentals offering rental locations across the Triad to quickly deliver ready-to-work equipment when and where you need it. Now Rocco Gigoletti on for the extra point. It is blocked, and it remains a 4-point game. Well, a lot of fireworks in the early stages of this one. It's the East defense on the board first, and now Reagan on this 74-yard touchdown strike to VJ Wilkins. He's got 4.3 speed, and he showed it down the sideline. Wilkins to the house, and Reagan leads when you come back to Kernersville.
You know, guys, Josh McGee played all 4 years at Winston-Salem State, and he told us this week earlier in our call that he wanted to make it clear to his team that you need to seize every opportunity that you get because you don't know how many you're going to have. And I think that is true to that testament here tonight after that touchdown. And Chris and Mark, back to you.
All right, Hannah, thanks. You're exactly right. VJ Wilkins, the 74-yard touchdown catch. The two, Wilkins, the receiver, and Hill, the quarterback, they've connected for an 80-yard touchdown pass already this season, so the second longest strike. And how about the explosive play for this Reagan offense, an offense that so far this year has not been known to be that explosive.
I was going to say the electricity on that play right there. A little more methodical of an offense. Again, John Gillette, usually the bell cow here, trying to get him his touches and also let him work within space, but you got to get those big electric plays where you can find them. And Reagan was able to cash in on that one.
Returnable here from the 30-yard line for East. Motoring up the center of the field. This is Smith. And Smith still on his feet. Smith high stepping down the sideline. A flag is in. And he's down inside the 5, but we'll wait and see what the laundry on the field is. Second big return for Jamon Smith tonight. For the moment, it is a 76-yard return, but we'll check the flag. First, we'll check the replay.
You just see Smith here just almost getting tripped up by the turf monster, it seems like they're just slowed up a little bit. But a great return sets them up. We're going to check on that flag. But a great return that time by Smith again.
A lengthy discussion, and they're going to wave off the flag. Second time tonight we've seen this crew wave off the flag. And I believe they're going to signal that as a touchdown, Mark. Let's take another look to see if he got in.
Yeah, again, a great return. Smith working that field, cutting back to the left side. He had nothing but green grass in front of him. Great job, though, getting downfield to still make blocks. It looked like he stepped out of bounds, Chris, back towards maybe the 4.
Well, it looked like his foot stepped out of bounds at the 4-yard line. They're going to give him the touchdown, though. It's the first kickoff return for Smith this year. And now the extra point. That is blocked, and it is recovered by Reagan, although not a live ball. It'll be Reagan ball now down 8-6 here in the early stages. So we'll take a timeout. It's like we're in the middle of the 4th inning. It's 8-6, an offensive battle tonight in Kernersville. Come back with us on our Friday Night Rivals. Jamon Smith with an 80-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Perhaps a Maybelline call after they called Smith out of bounds for the catch he had earlier tonight. Either way, it's a 2-point lead for East Forsyth. Man, we talk about explosive plays. We have seen now 2 explosive plays from both of these teams.
On back-to-back plays, really. Outside of an extra point for Reagan, that was unsuccessful. But, man, if you like big plays, we've got them for you so far in this one. Now, all the momentum had swung back towards Reagan. East takes it right back. We're going to see how Reagan's going to be able to respond.
Let's see which team blinks first. Here's Andrew Conrad, the veteran kicker for this East Forsyth club, with another Arnold Jones kickoff. And no surprise, this one will come out to the 20-yard line. So that's 28 kickoffs now for Conrad this year. 24 of them have gone for touchbacks.
Such a huge weapon. You see Smith again breaking free here. Great vision to cut back to the left.
Let's watch the Sunbelt Reynolds touchdown. Watch the foot here of Smith to see if he does step out. It certainly looks like they're at the 4-yard line. He hit the pylon, yes, but it looked like that foot was out of bounds.
It looked like he stepped right on the line. But nevertheless, it's a touchdown. Yeah. You got to give him credit. It was a great return. Smith had great vision to work his way back to the left side of the field where no one for Reagan was virtually home. And he had a nice little escort back towards the sideline on that one as well.
Let's see what this Reagan offense does now. Down by 2. A nice pitch and catch of 74 yards earlier for a touchdown. Now they begin on the ground with John Gillette, who will pick up 3. Gillette's got some interest from the Ivy League, a 5'10 senior. 127 rushing yards on 23 carries a week ago, and that tough 15-point loss to Myers Park.
When Coach McGee told us that through 3 games, he's been the best player on the field in all 3. So if you want to speak on the size of this young man and how it affects him at the next level, that's fine, but you can't knock his will and his determination.
Another read option. Again, Gillette trying to pick a hole, and out across the 30 should move the chains. Gain of 6, and should be another Crescent Ford of High Point first down. Ride to the game in style with the new F-150 from Crescent Ford of High Point.
But you know, when you look at a player like Gillette and you have those questions at the next level, of course, you want to have prototypical size if you have that production as well. But it kind of speaks to the player that he is, doesn't it? That he has that sort of production, that level of success, despite what people are saying about his size?
Absolutely. You know, it just proves that size doesn't always matter.
Right.
To pass again. Hill again looking down the field and incomplete. Trying to hit Wilkins again, but this time those two unable to hook up, and will bring up second down.
I'll tell you what, if nothing else, Cam Hill throws a pretty ball. That was a nice shot down the field, not able to connect. But you can see Reagan's trying to push the ball down the field. Really open up what they're trying to do for John Gillette in the backfield. Take pressure off of number 2, work that ball down the field. I like the game plan for Reagan so far. It's just about executing and hitting on those plays.
Interesting that both the targets have been to Wilkins on that wide side of the field, and both have been those vertical routes. 2nd and 10.
You can see the corners for East are now starting to sit back a little bit. They're about 5 yards off the line of scrimmage now at this point with 1 safety back.
Back to Gillette. Tries the left side this time. And just a small slither of daylight, he'll gain 3.
I think the counterpoint to that is East also has a lot of confidence in what their front 4 or front 7, can do. Especially with number 5, Crowell, back there manning the line of scrimmage and scanning and finding Gillette, Hill, or whoever it may be that's going to carry the ball inside that defense.
Last 3rd down for Reagan was that 74-yard touchdown pass. Facing a 3rd down and 8 here, and East Forsyth wants to call a timeout. Aaron Bill, the longtime defensive coordinator for the Eagles. I mean, these are 2 programs that have been steeped in tradition. East Forsyth, 3 state championships, including back-to-back titles for Todd Willard and his club in 2018 and 2019, to go along with that title in '92. And you want to know how good East has been? Not just all year, not just during Coach Willard's tenure, but this year in their win last week over South Iredell. This is an East defense that only gave up 174 yards of total offense.
And that's a South Iredell team that is rebuilding a little bit, but nevertheless, to take your opponent out of the game like that is just so admirable. And it just shows how these kids have really bought in to what they're selling here at East Forsyth. And you talk about the tradition that each of these teams has. Really, this is one of those games I think you could look at, regardless of record, these teams are always going to be highly competitive with each other. And this game between Reagan and East Forsyth is always going to be a showstopper.
5 wide on 3rd down.
Pressure coming.
Hill trying to escape. Hits his tight end, Jake DeLong, and he will be about a yard or two short of the 1st down. Nice job in coverage that time by East Forsyth to get there.
Good job by Hill to roll out and find DeLong down the field. Good job holding on to it as well, and great closing on the coverage. Nice football play all around on that one. Sest Reagan up with a manageable 4th down conversion if they want to go for it, and the offense is still out in the field right now.
CJ Barrett up to make the stop for East, and it does look like Coach McGee going to keep his offense on the field. Over halfway done with the game's opening stanza. Play clock inside of 10, and Reagan may want to spend a timeout here. And Coach McGee will call the timeout with 1 on the play clock. Took an extra second to think about it. And you want to talk about a guy that has built a program. Reagan opened in 2005. These two clubs have played every year since 2009. Josh McGee knows this area, knows this football team. Mark, this is a club that has won 8 or more games at Reagan 5 times in the last 10 years under Josh McGee.
How wild is that? You want to talk about consistency, success. This is one of those programs that you look to in the state of North Carolina. Again, not a great start to the year, but that gauntlet they go through, still ranked 25th in the state by Max Preps. So still a great team, a great program at Reagan. You got to think for how young they are to have the tradition and the history that they already have. That speaks volumes about Coach McGee and this coaching staff.
All right, 4th and 1. You're approaching midfield. If you're Reagan, what are you thinking here?
I'm getting the ball in John Gallette's hands, and that's what I'm doing. I think East Forsyth has to know that as well. But if he's going to be the best player on this field week in and week out, as he has been for the first 3 games, get the ball in your best player's hands, and that is number 2 in white and black.
Hurrying to the line. Hill under center. It's Gallette trying to get downhill. Gallette strung out, and he's not going to get it. Nazir Graham, the corner, to finish the stop, and a turnover on downs.
East Forsyth read that so well, just loaded to that side, running off the right. And I'll tell you what, all that pressure came down to that right side. You see all those gray uniforms over there. If Reagan runs a misdirection back to the wide side of the field and get Gallette in space and give him room to run, he's got a chance to not just pick up the first down, but get some major yardage as well.
A 6'4 senior with a huge stop. And this has been momentum swing after momentum swing, and we're still in the first quarter.
You were talking about blow for blow. This is a heavyweight match through and through right now.
See if East Forsyth takes a shot here. More whistles.
I mean, it's a whirlwind right now.
Another procedure penalty on the East offense. If you're looking for teachable moments on both sidelines, I think there are plenty.
Yes.
With the procedure penalties that both sides have had here in the opening period. And that look says it all from the veteran head coach.
Consistency is not just about what you do during the play, but also in between them. You got to stay on schedule. Make sure you're not hurting yourself and giving away free yards.
4 wide, 1st and 15. Play action. Looking downfield. They've got Stokes open, and a house call for East. 45 yards. Jamon Stokes, his first touchdown grab of the year.
Just running wide open on the back end of that one. Stokes, the speed, the straight line speed to get away from the secondary of Reagan. And an easy pitch and catch that time. The second tutty of the night for the Eagles.
Back to an 8-point lead. It's the 5th touchdown pass of the season for Rayner. And a Sunbelt Reynolds touchdown for East Forsyth. Now Andrew Conrad on for the extra point. And no surprise there, Conrad drives that one home. And now a 15-6 lead for East Forsyth here at home.
Just that big playability, and now all 3 phases of the game have scored for these Eagles. Just streaking down the sideline, no chance on that one. The straight line speed beating the Reagan secondary, and there was no hope on that.
And one of the things that both coaches talked about were the explosive plays this week. Reagan saying we've got to be better in the secondary. Coach McGee for Reagan not going to be happy with that. But Todd Willard for East Forsyth told us, we've got to be happy taking 4, 5, 6 yards every play. He's going to be happier with 45 right there.
Right, and he said they didn't want to become greedy with what they were doing. Again, when you're scoring over 50 points a game through 3, it's tough to, or not tough, but you're starting to nitpick a little bit. But that's how great teams continue to get better, closer and closer to the perfect product that they're looking for. And that's how you continue to capitalize on not just a great roster, but a great group of kids who understand the mission here at East Forsyth. And they have executed that through 3, and they're seemingly doing it now through 4.
This one again to the end zone. And for the 3rd time tonight, Reagan will start from the 20-yard line. Reagan's been able to score 1 touchdown through the air. What are the Raiders on their 3rd drive here, Mark, going to look for offensively?
Well, they need to find ways to back that Eagles defense back off the line of scrimmage. Now they're starting to creep a little bit closer because that front 7 is doing such a great job of applying pressure and creating mismatches up front, whether it's through stunting or different blitzes that are just overloading that offensive line of Reagan. You got to start looking towards the air. These wide receivers have to start making plays, finding separation in the defensive backfield of East Forsyth.
Josh McGee said his club needs to throw the football better. They've executed that here so far tonight. Again, Gillette, and again, Gillette nowhere to run. He's thrown for another loss by this Eagle defense. In that time was one of their big playmaking defensive ends, Tim Davis.
Yeah, Crowell shot through there as well. Knife through the defense that time. And that's tough. I mean, that's just a tough play. But again, they're going to continue to go to that bread and butter. You want to get the ball in Gillette's hands. I understand that. But these other guys on offense, these wide receivers and those skill position players, they have to make plays as well. They have to start contributing.
4th tackle of the loss this season for Davis. The 35th, make that 36th for East as a club. 5 on the play clock. This is Hill. Steps up. Now wants to run. Oh, takes a big hit and dishes out some punishment of his own, but it's another crescent forward 1st down after a pickup of 17.
Do you like your quarterback doing that?
I do.
Do you like your quarterback? Do you like your quarterback hard-nosed? I'm sure Reagan does. Cam Hill supplying some pop at the back end of that one. Great decision. Pulls the ball down, runs with it, picks up the 1st, and finishes with authority on the back end. If you're looking for an engine starter for this offense for Reagan, it's got to be number 1 at quarterback, Cam Hill. He's got to be able to step up and make the big-time plays when it's not number 2.
Longest run of the season for the senior quarterback. Who was played in just 10 career games and battled some injuries. Had a broken bone in his shoulder as a freshman on the JV squad. Broke his collarbone as a sophomore. Threw 54 touchdown passes in just 10 career games. Really grown as a leader, in the words of his 10th-year head coach Josh McGee.
Just fighting that adversity and still having the ability to put up numbers like that. I mean, that speaks volumes about the kind of character and the kind of work ethic that Cam Hill has.
1 single high safety as the play clock winds down, and a delay of game on the Raiders.
It's taking a little bit too long that time. But really, if you're going to play single high, it's almost like you're not afraid of what the offense that you're going against is going to do passing the football. And just manning up across the board is what East Forsyth has done so far. And until Reagan makes plays through the air and backs that defense off, it's not going to change.
Gillette again. And Gillette gets the penalty yards back. Will bring up 2nd down and 10 for the final 2 minutes of the game's opening quarter. Another nice play by Isaiah Crowell, the team leader, with 25 tackles coming in. Again, Crowell, 8 in the center of your screen, committed to North Carolina State.
It's not hard to miss Isaiah tonight, is it?
It is not.
But hey, when you've got cachet like Isaiah Crowell has, the skill set that he brings to the table, you want to make sure they know who you are. You want to make sure everyone knows where you're at on the field.
Gillette again finds a small seam, scampers ahead for 4.
Good job by the offensive line of Reagan, too, picking up a blitzer coming that time, a little bit of pop. An extra man coming, good job picking that up. Able to get some positive yards. Now at least a little bit more manageable on 3rd down. You're not going 10 yards, rather about 7, maybe 6 to pick up the 1st.
Reagan 1 of 2 on 3rd downs tonight. Remember the 1 completion, a 74-yard touchdown pass.
Again, single high, manning across the board.
Looking this way, little crossing route, hauled in, good catch. Montrell Jones moves the sticks out to midfield. It's a pickup of 15 on third down.
That's a risky throw. A backer came screaming underneath the end of that play. You see right here, just out of his reach, that looked like that time. Who was that on defense? Just scraping underneath, but a great catch, great concentration, way to finish that one. Taking a hard hit too.
Second big hit for Nasser Graham, the strong cornerback there for East Forsyth. Under a minute for the first quarter. A Crescent Ford of High Point first down. By the way, for Jones, his 10th catch of the season, averaging over 12 yards per catch this year.
Excellent concentration.
Back to Gillette. Runs into his own man and able to fight for a few extra yards. Gain of 6 on first down, and that could take us to the end of the first period.
I'll tell you what I'm impressed with. It's not just him running around in space. I mean, a lot of Gillette's work so far has been in between the tackles, running inside the teeth of that defense, and he hasn't been afraid. This offense has been attacking them and attacking them. They haven't breaking big ones yet, but 5- and 6-yard gains like that will benefit them as the game goes on.
Well, if you're a fan of heavyweight fights, we have got one for you here tonight. Round 1 in this 12-round bout goes to East Forsyth. Explosive plays all over the place for both offenses. VJ Wilkins shaking free for Reagan to get them on the board, but it's East Forsyth who storms right back with this kickoff return that goes 80 yards for Jamon Smith. At the end of one, it's 15-6 for the homestanding Eagles on our Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals. We're back with tonight's winning row. Everyone on tonight's winning row will receive free tickets to the Carolina Classic Fair October 1st through 10th. The Carolina Classic Fair, second to none in 2021. It'll be Reagan football as we start the second quarter. The Raiders trailing 15-6, but moving the football here, Mark Covert.
Yeah, and they've been able to do that just a little bit here tonight, but really mixing it up. But again, that passing game so far in this one, outside of the 74-yard strike from Cam Brown to VJ Wilkins in the first quarter, there hasn't been much success through the air up to this point. They got to get that going.
Gillette, who's been the bell cow this year with his 9 carries tonight, little quick out with a flag down. No surprise there. It's a pickup of 4 for the moment. By the way, Gillette, 9 rushes for 28 yards this evening. Remember that Gillette averages about 126 yards per game through the first 3 games of the season. Check on the laundry.
I mean, Gillette's been a monster. It hasn't just been, well, maybe he's been the best player. I mean, this kid has been electric so far as the season has worn on.
Another procedure penalty called on Reagan. We had 5 combined penalties in the first quarter. The 6th now between the two clubs. And Josh McGee pleading his case to no avail.
Yeah, what Stripes are staying busy tonight, aren't they?
It is a television contest. 2nd down and 10 for this Reagan offense. Play action. Another out route. Long throw completed. And again, it's Wilkins. Shakes free of a defender with a flag down.
Kind of like the play call there, too. A tighter formation, only 2 wide. A few tight ends in on the game that time. Looks like a run, but passing out of that. Give this East Forsyth defense a different look.
I beg your pardon, it was Jones on the catch. The 2nd of the night for Jones. And it looks like it'll be an illegal receiver downfield on Reagan. And right now for Josh McGee's club, it's been self-inflicted to start the 2nd quarter.
And they've done well. When they haven't been shooting themselves in the foot with these penalties, they've been able to move the ball pretty well against this East Forsyth Eagles defense. It's just making sure that you're playing within the game and playing within yourself and not committing penalties that are going to back you up continuously.
6 penalties now for 40 yards for this Reagan offense.
Now it's 2nd down. Your playbook almost exclusively falls down to your passing game unless you feel really good about the way you're running the football.
Back to pass is Hill. Scrambles. And a leaping try on the boundary. And a catch.
Oh, what a catch.
A really tremendous catch by Montrell Jones.
The concentration by Montrell Jones working the sideline of Reagan. What a pass. With great confidence by Cam Hill, putting that ball down the field. Letting his guy go make a play. Look at this. Just goes up and gets, let's see where that foot's at. Yes, sir, that's in.
A nice gain of 13, a Crescent Ford first down. Check out the newest Ford trucks at crescentford.com.
You know, just like that, 2nd and long now turns to 3rd and short. Great play call, excellent execution, way to finish the play. Reagan's got a chance here to move the sticks.
So I beg your pardon, was not a Crescent Ford first down. We'll get to that here hopefully after this 3rd down play. It's Gillette. And that will be close to the first down. I believe it will indeed now be a Crescent Ford first down efficiently. Check out the newest Ford trucks at crescentford.com. Gain of 5.
So you're trying to predict the future tonight a little bit. Good job by Gillette. 2nd effort really made that play happen. Seemed like he may have been bottled up, but shakes free of the first defender and picks up the fresh set of downs.
Is this a must-score drive for Reagan here?
It kind of feels like that. And I thought that coming into this drive. You don't want to say that so early in a football game. But the way that East Forsyth has been playing offensively, that you've seen bursts of offense, you've got to make sure you keep pace with them.
Gillette reverses field. And arm tackled again. Another nice play that time by Nick Martin, the defensive end, the 6'2 junior.
Really good job by the defense setting the edge as they put it. Make sure that Gillette can't get outside where he was tracking to. And Nick Martin responsible for that contain. Good job by forcing it back inside where the rest of his gray uniform buddies were hanging out at. Just look here, slicing up. Great contain.
Obviously, Gillette has been at the top of the scouting report for East Forsyth coming into the ballgame. Just unable to break that big run. Now, 2nd down and long. Hill wants to throw. Steps up, slings one down the field and off the hands of Malachi Purvis. More nice coverage. Again, Nasser Graham, we've called his name a lot in the first half.
I think Purvis may have just turned his head a little too soon upfield, trying to get yards after the catch. Gotta make sure you keep your eyes there, and just took him off. Maybe just a split second too soon.
Hit him in the worst place, right in the hands.
Yep.
Reagan has converted 3 third downs and 4 opportunities this evening.
Now you're seeing the safeties back off just a little bit. Even Crowell working there in the slot. Seeing with the pink or orange cleats.
Low snap. Hill. All kinds of time. Just throws up a prayer that is not answered. And it'll bring up 4th down. East Forsyth wants intentional grounding. Remember, no tackle box in high school football. And indeed, it'll just be a 4th down coming. And the Raiders will punt as we take another look.
Again, that pressure for the Eagles coming through. Nowhere to go with the football. Great coverage by that secondary, and Cam Hill just had to heist that one up and pray for the best that time. Good play by Hill, but that defensive pressure creating another bad play.
Good coverage there by Donovan Hill, forcing pressure on the quarterback as Andrew Gigliotti on to punt, averaging 42 yards per punt this year.
Trying to play a field position game this time. See if you can pen this East Forsyth offense back deep.
It'll be Jalil Rogers who will do the punting. I beg your pardon. Nobody back deep for East. And a nice kick, bit of a coffin corner, if you will, there for Reagan. So a long field for East Forsyth to work with on their first possession of the second period.
Long field. But this is an offense that's shown the explosive capabilities so far in this one. Long touchdown pass, and oh, going to see what they do here on this next drive.
We'll see what East Forsyth does right after this. (15-6) East Forsyth early in the second period. East getting the ball for the first time in the second quarter on our Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals presented by Roan Law.
Reagan's got to keep this in front of them. Don't let these receivers beat them. They've already done it once tonight. You can't allow them to do it again. Run free in your secondary.
Rayner audibling the play at the line. A motion play here. And cutting it upfield is Brown. Takes a vicious hit, but picks up 7.
Good job. Even though the play was extending that time, East Forsyth kept working and working and working. The linemen continued to work their blocks. And good cut to get upfield that time by Brown. Picks up a nice chunk of change. And well, that's second down now upcoming.
Mentioned in the first quarter, Todd Willard said we have to be happy getting 4, 5, 6 yards per play on this Reagan defense. Said he's been really impressed with what Coach McGee has done with this defense this year. Todd Willard talking really ad nauseum about how impressed he's been with Reagan and how the defense has been the change for the Raiders so far this season. They played well tonight, but will give up a first down here, a gain of 8, as the Eagles go back to the ground. And now on the flip side, for Reagan, Coach McGee telling us this is the first time that his club this year has faced a team that just wants to run the football right at it.
Right. He talked about maybe not finesse, but a lot of the air it out, kind of the air raid offenses that they saw through those first few games. Myers Park 2 weeks ago, and this is just a different monster here tonight with the Eagles of East Forsyth.
Rayner will keep it and will fight ahead for 3.
But that's exactly what they want to do. They want to be able to run the football. When you talk about the versatility of this offense, you've got a few guys, 3 to be exact, that are over that 100-yard mark, and 2 more hanging right around it, with Rayner leading that rushing attack with 266 yards on the ground. But you got to think these top 5 rushers, 761 yards and 74 carries. That's 10.2 yards a clip. I mean, that's ridiculous running the football, knowing every single time one of those guys carries on average, they're picking up a first down.
Averaging over 300 yards per game as a club through the first 3 games of the season are the Eagles. Quick out, nice catch. Shimmying out across the 35-yard line that time. And a good catch there by Tim Davis, his 4th of the season, picks up 9, and another crescent forward first down.
And what does running the football do for you, Chris? It opens up your passing game, really pinches those defenders for Reagan inside and wants to pin their ears back, really opens things up down the field. And even screen passes like that, you have an advantage on the edge.
This is Brown trying to get to the edge. Flag is in. Brown dances out across the 45. It's a first down for the moment. He gains 11, but I imagine this will be coming back.
You just see the electricity, the explosiveness of Brown around the edge, working his way and picking his way through that defense. And check on the flag, but again, you see the all-around weapon that he is for this Eagles offense.
And a holding called there on East Forsyth. Hey, stay tuned at halftime for my myspot.nc.gov halftime report. We'll have this week's Scholar Athletes, interviews with the participating principals, highlights from across the country, and more. That's coming up in about 7 minutes of game action. A lot to recap in a very exciting first quarter.
And I think this football game has been right about where we kind of thought it may end up being at this point in the game.
18 rushing yards on this drive for East Forsyth. That's more than they had in the entire first quarter.
You can see them start to really work that part of their game plan. Now that they have an idea and a feel for what this Reagan defense is going to want to do, they can start executing a little bit more, calling those play calls out, those misdirections, and working their athletes around the edge, getting them out in space and allowing them to work there.
Quan Porter in the backfield now for the Eagle offense. Designed run for Rayner, the quarterback, and just a couple there.
And you know, realistically, what East Forsyth does, and they want to run the football. A lot of teams you see them, and they say they want to run the football. It's an I formation. You're under center. You've got big packages where you've got three guys in the backfield along with your quarterback. That's not what East Forsyth does. They spread it out. They want to work the edges and get their athletes out in space. It's an effective rushing attack, and they do it better than really anyone.
Back to pass, Rayner, home run ball, looking for Brown, and incomplete. Brown was out of bounds anyway. Good coverage that time from Jaleel Rogers, who's one of the better basketball players for Reagan, but doing a nice job in the secondary there.
Just tracking that ball down the field. Brown couldn't come up with it. It's good coverage, too, because Rayner had to force that ball towards the sideline instead of maybe opening up towards the middle of the field. It's a tough throw to make. Just kind of let Brown out of bounds as well. So good defense by Reagan to stay on top of that one.
Third target tonight for Brown. Boy, he's going to be a big playmaker at the next level. As again, some FBS and FCS interest. Now third down and long for East. You wonder what the play call is for the Eagles. 3rd and 19.
Well, where do you go? You've got a multitude of riches at the skill positions.
Again, play action. Again, it's Rayner. And again, it's Rayner looking for a seam. Gets out to the 40-yard line, about 5 yards shy of the marker. Now, we saw East go for it in the first quarter on 4th and short, but seems like a punting situation here.
Yeah, pretty conservative play call, if not one where you're maybe trying to catch Reagan just out of position that time. So it was a little bit of a gamble, keep the thing on the ground, and not able to pick up the first. A good chunk of yardage. It gets closer to that first down marker, but not quite enough. I would watch a fake here, though. I will say that if you're Reagan, I would watch for a fake at this point in the game and where you're at on the field.
V.J. Wilkins already has one punt return for a touchdown this year. He has a 74-yard touchdown catch tonight, too. This is Andrew Conrad on to punt. We'll kick it away from Wilkins, and will be good field position here for Reagan when we come back. Halfway done with the game's second period. It's East Forsyth who's out to the lead here at the place they call the Nest. We're back with more on our Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals presented by Roan Law right after this. 15-6, the lead for East Forsyth. The 4-0 Eagles, 1-2 Raiders. Opening up conference play tonight and what is just a gauntlet of a conference schedule. Davie County, Glenn, Parkland, Mount Tabor, R.J. Reynolds, West Forsyth, these two clubs. And you win this league, you have accomplished something for sure. 1st and 10 for Reagan near midfield. Their second drive of the second stanza. Gillette straight ahead and crosses midfield for a gain of 5.
I mean, this conference is just bonkers. The skill level of the teams that are here, you just talk about how winning a state title is big, but winning this conference, it almost feels like a level of accomplishment on the same as a state title.
Injured player down there for East Forsyth. And we'll go to attend to him. It's Kevin Riley, one of the defensive tackles, a 5'11 senior who is getting some treatment. When I was talking about the conference championship, you know, Todd Willard, the head coach of East Forsyth, said, you know, we don't always, as a program at East, put a ton of emphasis on being able to win a conference championship because both of these clubs, as we documented earlier, have some lofty expectations, state championship, that sort of thing. But Coach Willard said, you know, if you win a state or win a conference title in this league this year, you've accomplished something.
Yeah, I mean, look, the playoffs obviously are full of teams throughout this state that are quality opponents. We know this. But I dare you to find a slate in the playoffs, including a state championship game, that's going to be akin to what you find on a 4 or 5 game slate in this league alone. I mean, it is incredible.
Good to see Riley up and walking off under his own power. Appears to be flexing out that left hand, so he will come off for at least this play.
Riley's had a pretty big impact tonight, too. He's been doing really well in that interior of that defense, applying pressure, getting into the backfield, and being disruptive. I'm going to have to track that one because that would be a fairly big loss for this Eagles defense.
Waylon and Noble in single coverage at the bottom of your screen for Reagan as Cam Hill, the quarterback, surveys the defensive landscape. Hill to pass, 4-step drop over the middle and knocked away. Good play that time. A late flag flies in too. Matthew Jonas is in coverage, but looks like they'll get him for pass interference.
And it was a good play by Jonas. It really read the play well. He was the single safety back that time. Broke on the football well. The one problem is he made contact with the receiver right before the ball got there by placing his hand on the receiver's back. And obviously at this level in high school, you cannot do that.
15-yard penalty in high school football. Not an automatic first down, but is sufficient for a gain here as we take another peek.
You just see right here in the middle of the screen, Hill testing the secondary that time. You see right here on the back shoulder that time, you can see him just reach around. It's a good call by this officiating crew.
Zach Wright, the back judge, very right on that call. Another Crescent Ford first down. Check out the newest Ford trucks at crescentford.com. And now 1st and 10 for Reagan, trying to move the football and get back on the board. They have not scored since that long touchdown pass in the first quarter. Remember, East Forsyth began the game with a safety on the first drive of the game. Gillette again powers ahead and gains 5.
He's kind of where his smaller size, though, really plays an advantage to what they're doing in between the tackles running the football. He's able to find those small spaces, just kind of sliver through them, pick up yards. A bigger back obviously wouldn't be able to do that, but Gillette can, and it works pretty well for this Reagan football team.
And an official timeout. Perhaps another player shaken up on the interior. And again, it's for East Forsyth with another one of those interior linemen coming out. It's David Smith, the starting defensive tackle. So Smith is out now. Looks like Kevin Riley, who was injured a moment ago, is back in. Certainly a good sign on that defensive line for East Forsyth.
Well, you definitely don't want to lose your top 2 defensive tackles where they're listed on this depth chart. You cannot have that interior exposed because that's exactly where they're wanting to run the football. Reagan is right now. If you have those guys in the interior of your defense who's taking up 1 or 2 blockers consistently, that's a big help up front.
They bring a blitz. It's a seam here for Gillette. Closes quickly and gets close to the marker. Been really impressed with how quick Gillette can find that seam.
Well, and it's the recognition and the vision, right? Because he's kind of a one-cut, it seems like a one-cut kind of back. He's trying to work his way upfield, find the hole, and then burst. So the acceleration is there, and you can see it with Gillette. And he finds those holes, like you said, Chris, really quickly. That acceleration could be killer.
They mark him short, 3rd down and a yard. Is this 4-down territory here?
Absolutely, on a drive like this as well with 3 minutes left in the half.
Back to the ground, Gillette gets past the first defender and gets down near the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st down after another 3rd down conversion, pick up a 4.
And I'll tell you what, we've been talking about how this defense for East Forsyth tonight has done a good job of creating pressure and getting penetration into the backfield of Reagan. Right now, this offensive line is changing the line of scrimmage. They are pushing this defensive front of East Forsyth back, and they are staking their claim.
It's been the right side of the offensive line, too. Sam Pendleton, who was offered by Duke University, the right tackle earlier this week. Spencer Webb, the right guard, getting some FCS interest, too. Cam Hill to pass. Looking this way, and incomplete. Another intended target there for V.J. Wilkins, who has the touchdown catch. Zion Ellison in good coverage that time.
And that's about the 2nd or 3rd drop pass for these Reagan receivers tonight. Nice route, good separation. The play call was nice, and it was perfect, honestly, with that coverage. Just couldn't come down with the catch, went right off of Wilkins' hands. He's got to be able to come down with that. And again, these skill position players for Reagan have to start producing and really open up the game for Cam Hill and Gillette in that backfield.
I think Reagan wants to take a timeout here, and they do, just to chat things over. 1 timeout left for the Raiders. Josh McGee talked about, and we mentioned it earlier, the need to be able to throw the football better. Do you think that he's happy with the production he's getting from the passing game tonight?
Well, I think they're accomplishing what they wanted to do. He told us they want to start pushing the ball more down the field. They're doing that, and I don't think you can really dispute it. They are pushing the ball. They're trying to work it down the field more because I think they realize they have to get yards through the air to really open up the offense. But the next step in that is converting it. If you got the game plan there, you also have to make sure you're converting. These drop passes outside for these receivers are hurting this offense, and they could continue to move the ball down the field, but it starts with those wide receivers converting and making the plays when they are thrown to them.
All right, so now 2nd down and 10. Remember, East Forsyth gets the ball to start the 3rd quarter. If you're Reagan coming out of this timeout, what are you looking for play call-wise?
Well, if you're going to continue to go through the air here, and you've got time to work with, now you got to think that they are at the 20-yard line with 2.5 minutes left and 1 timeout in their pocket. You've got time to work with. It's not like you have to be in such a hurry, but just understand where you're at. Now they're playing a 2 high as far as 2 safeties back for that East Forsyth defense. Being a little conscientious, and that could open up some room up front to run the football. And if not that, if you're going to go to the air, work some underneath routes.
Five on the play clock. And more whistles. I believe they're going to chaperone one of the Eagles off the field. Jamon Smith is escorted off, and now he's right back on. Not totally sure about that one.
A little unusual.
But now we continue on.
But still the same look.
A power pistol here.
Yep.
It's Gillette. And he is upended nicely. Good defensive play that time by Tim Davis, the starting strong safety, up to make the stop.
Did a really good job knifing up there, making a nice play towards the line of scrimmage.
And now another 3rd down for Reagan. They've already converted 1 3rd down on this drive. Looking to pick up a 3rd down and medium.
Been impressed. These defensive backs for East Forsyth have not been afraid to come up and make plays on Gillette in this running game.
And another timeout before this big 3rd down play. And it's East Forsyth who calls the timeout. Leaves them with 1 for the final 2:15 of the half. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we'll have the myspot.nc.gov halftime report, which will include this week's Scholar Athletes, interviews with the participating principals, highlights from across the country, and more. There's a lot to get to at halftime, and what's been a really good football game.
Yes. And with Reagan now knocking on the door again, we could have a much closer game at halftime. But they find themselves in an interesting position, though, Chris, with how they're going to game plan the last 2.5 or 2:15 of this half. Because, yeah, you can run the football. You only got one timeout to work with, though, and that's what you have to remember. Good news is, where they're out on the field, they don't have to rush.
And now in the Boost Mobile Orange Zone, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Both coaches talked about the importance of the red zone this week. Didn't hear them mention the orange zone. Third down coming up. Reagan 4 of 6 on third downs tonight, including a third down conversion already on this drive.
I tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if they ran it here.
Play action over the middle, and more nice coverage that time. It's Jamon Smith who bats it away. And now fourth down coming for the Raiders as we take another look.
Just a great play by Smith there. Just a quick slant that time to get inside, and Smith just sitting right underneath it. Perfect coverage.
And now it looks like, as we take another look, yeah, nothing there, right?
No. I mean, that is picture perfect coverage by Smith.
This will be a 35-yard field goal try here for Rocco Gigalotti. His long this year has been 27. He is 2 of 4 in field goals this year. Boy, this one's got plenty of leg and is plenty good enough. Gigalotti good from 35 out, and that trims the deficit for Reagan.
You got to feel good about putting some points on the board on that drive. Of course, you want to come up with a touchdown, but I think Reagan has proven so far here in the first half that they've been able to move the ball against this East Forsyth defense. They have not been afraid to push the ball down the field. They have not been afraid to continue to run it where they have, mostly in between the tackles, and that's going to be a big boon going into halftime.
What a weapon both clubs have with tremendous kickers tonight. We don't often talk about it, but man, the two kickers tonight have been tremendous, not just this year, but throughout their entire career.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you have a guy like that on your special teams, the kicker who can either pin your opposing offenses deep, not allow them to return the football at all with touchbacks. I mean, and of course, the primary job of knocking some points on the board with field goals. But, you know, having a kicker, a solid kicker, is such an underrated aspect of football. I think people just kind of forget about kickers every now and then, but when you've got a guy who can push the ball down the field and put points on the board, that's huge.
Time now for another Arnold Jones kickoff. Get your heating and air conditioning fall tune-up special from Arnold Jones Services Heating and Air Conditioning. 2:10 and 1 timeout left for East Forsyth, who has already ran 1 kick back for a score tonight. And no surprise, a bit of a short kickoff here. This is returnable for the moment for Damon Stokes, but he will tiptoe out of bounds.
I think they're trying to keep it out of Smith or Brown's hands.
I imagine that's the play call, yes. But man, you look at this kick return unit, so many weapons for East Forsyth all across the kickoff landscape.
I mean, it's wild. Just the amount of guys that really on that kickoff team that can return it in their own right. Even your up backs having the opportunity to get the football in their hands, and they can make something happen with it. That's a pretty special concept.
You hear basketball coaches talk a lot at the end of halves about going 2 for 1 with the shot clock. A chance here for East Forsyth to go 2 for 1, get a score to end the half, get the ball to start the third quarter.
I won't be surprised if this Eagles offense decides to push the ball down the field here to start. Kind of see some of the mixed up coverage. Number 5 here at the bottom of the screen for Reagan backed off. Everyone else is close to the line, and there's only one safety.
That's Jalil Rogers. Looking this way is Rayner. He's now flushed, and he's now sacked. Nice coverage that time by this Reagan defense. It's Samaj Turner, who has an offer from Liberty. Coach Josh McGee said he's the heart and soul of this Raider defense.
Yeah, one of those captains and a big-time performer Samaj Turner is, but another deep pass attempt that time. That's the counterpoint to what they're trying to do. You have all that time back there, you got to bring him down for a sack.
More time, out route, and this is Stokes who goes down to make the grab. Will be shy of the marker, stays in bounds. Clock rolls down to the final 93 seconds.
And while Reagan didn't have to panic on their last possession, or maybe not panic, but hustle a little bit more, as you see the sack here for that defense of Reagan with Turner coming down. But they've got to start moving. East Forsyth does. You start getting yourself in a good field position. They've only got 1 timeout to work with. Just over a minute left to play.
6th catch of the season for Stokes. Beg your pardon, 7th catch of the season. Had the touchdown grab earlier. Ball is on the ground, picked up by Rayner, and now looking to make a busted play into something big. gets out of bounds and also gets the first down. Another Crescent Ford of High Point first down, a pickup of 6 yards.
Again, Samaj Turner coming and hustling to knock Rayner out of bounds that time, but good awareness by number 1 in gray. Picked the football up. Slow snap. It almost went nowhere. And it was just sitting there begging to be picked up. Rayner has the presence of mind to go up and get it.
What an athlete.
Yeah.
Certainly helps to have a guy 6'1", 185 back there as your senior or your junior quarterback. Plenty of time here. Turner providing a rush. And now Rayner just throws one downfield. It's Stokes who finds a seam and achieves another first down. Remember, as a flag is down, Todd Willard told us he's comfortable with his field goal kicker from 55 or 60 yards. They're close to field goal range right now.
You want to know some things you don't see in high school football?
A kicker like that.
A kicker like that.
An eligible receiver downfield is the preliminary indication on the Eagles. We talked about this in our coverage last week, Mark. It just, when you're scrambling like that, one of those offensive linemen sometimes drifts a little bit too far.
Yeah, you just kind of lose your place on the field, and you got to be careful with that. You got to understand your quarterback's an athlete, that he can scramble back there and make plays with his feet, find guys down the field as he did there. Just got to make sure that you have the presence of mind of where you're at on the field and make sure you don't put your team in a position where a penalty can be called. To be fair, though, it is a tough spot.
Spoken like a former offensive lineman.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What position did you play?
Center, baby.
I don't know why I thought you were a guard, but now that I thought you could have been like a guard or a tackle.
Flexed.
Okay.
I was versatile.
Yeah, I know.
I was our super emergency backup quarterback, too. So.
That's a disaster strikes. Here's Rayner. Pressure in his face. Avoids one tackler. Cannot get away from the second. A huge sack for Noah Haynes. His first of the season. And brings up a second down and all the way to Reagan for the first down.
And you can see what Reagan's plan here is on this drive. Apply the pressure. There were 6 different Raiders in the backfield of East Forsyth on that one, applying that pressure and knifing through. Rayner did a good job getting away from one man, but could not get away from the rest. I mean, look at the amount of Raiders around the football.
And probably changes the way that East Forsyth will approach the last 18 seconds of the half. Have to run one more play. Rayner, and misfires there, trying to hit Jamon Smith. 13 seconds to go. Remember, Reagan does have one timeout if they choose to stop the clock.
So does East Forsyth if they hit on a play down the field and find themselves in-bounds. With 13 seconds left, nothing is still out of the realm of possibility here.
This is a quick strike offense for East Forsyth. We've seen that already tonight. 45-yard touchdown catch, an 80-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, a safety forced by the defense. We've had a little bit of everything here in the opening 24 minutes. Josh McGee's club has responded very nicely. Play action to the second man through. Ingram shimmies ahead. Ingram looking for the edge. Ingram tiptoes and still on his feet. 2 seconds, 1, and East will stop the clock. That will move the chains. It's a pickup of 31. And now does East think about trotting the field goal kicker Andrew Conrad out for a long one?
That'd be pushing it. For 55 yards, I mean, that's ridiculous. But, again, this offense so explosive for East Forsyth. Catching this Reagan defense back in pass coverage. Not expecting a run that time, but they find themselves in a position now at the 38-yard line. They've got options here. It doesn't just have to be a field goal. They could go first shot in the end zone.
Now, it would be about a 55-yard field goal attempt from here, which is on the edge of Conrad's range. Now, Coach Willard in jest said, I'm not worried about the kick. I'm more worried about the snap and the hold. But 1.1 seconds left. It looks like the offense is still huddled around Todd Willard and their offensive coordinator, Ron Horton. Those two have been together a very long time.
Well, and we've had some adventures in this one tonight with the snap and the hold, but we might get that now.
Yeah, it looks like Conrad has come out. And let's see if Reagan puts somebody back deep in case this one is not good. Remember, Alabama and Auburn from several years ago, you could run this one back.
The kick six.
Yeah. Now Rayner's going to hold here. Conrad, the kicker, his long for the season has been 22. This is from 55. And before the play, maybe a timeout for East Forsyth. That one, or timeout for Reagan, I should say. That was a little short on the kick. And perhaps a little gamesmanship here. Josh McGee trying to ice the kicker using his final timeout. But now you've given Conrad a couple looks at it. You know, it's like when you're on the golf course and you shank one into the woods. The second guy is always better. The second guy always finds the fairway.
Learn from the mistakes. But maybe he just pulled up a little bit on that one. It was well short, but give him some second thoughts before he tries to really nail and put his leg into this one.
It's a 6-point game at the moment. A little bit of an odd 15-9 score. Take another look. Again, this one's not going to count. Might have hit it a little fat.
I mean, it was on track, if we're being honest.
It drifted a little bit.
Just a bit. But
what, about 5 yards short, maybe?
Yep. Let's see if he pull it up here, but
I know all about hitting those wedges fat. Trust me. Skull a couple of them across the green, too.
Chris Edwards, not a pro golfer.
Not a pro golfer. Reagan going to come after this one. Another good kick. This ball's got plenty of distance. Oh, just a little short. Online again from Conrad. That one would have been good from 53. But East Forsyth will have to be content with a 6-point halftime lead. And a wry smile for the head coach of the Eagles, who is in his 19th season. He will chat with Hannah here in just a moment as East Forsyth behind their defense, who scores early, a couple of explosive plays. A 6-point lead for the Eagles as we head toward the locker room.
Really well-rounded first half as well.
Yeah, and again, East will get the football when the third quarter begins. Hannah getting to position. And I think Hannah's ready with Todd Willard. Hannah, take it away.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with head coach Todd Willard. Coach, you said earlier in the week that you wanted to sustain some drives offensively. How do you feel you've done that in the first half?
We haven't done very good, obviously. Our penalties are killing us right now. Our drives are getting stopped by us because we keep on getting penalties, and we got to fix that.
And what are you hoping to see coming back out after halftime?
Well, we got to just play a little bit better on offense. I think our defense is doing a great job. Offensively, we got to figure some things out.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We'll be right back with more after the break.
Throughout the 2021 Carolina Classic Fair Friday night rival season, Biscuitville will recognize an exceptional senior student athlete from each participating school with a plaque presentation prior to each game. This week's Biscuitville Scholar athletes are from East Forsyth High School, Ian Sawyer. East Forsyth High School's Ian Sawyer plays varsity football and is a member of the wrestling team. He was named Wrestling All-Conference last season and lettered as a freshman in wrestling. Ian is an honors student and an active member of his church's youth ministry program. And from Reagan High School, Ellie Chang. Reagan's Ellie Chang is the varsity volleyball captain and holds a 4.5 GPA. She is a junior marshal in the National Honor Society and is a Crosby Scholar. She is a member of her church youth group and volunteers her time at Dig This Volleyball Camp. Ian, Ellie, and other nominated students are competing for a $5,000 Biscuitville Ultimate Student Athlete Scholarship to be awarded at the end of the season. Since 1966, Biscuitville has been serving up authentic Southern food made from fresh, locally sourced ingredients. Stop by a Biscuitville near you for the flavor of local.
Welcome back to the myspot.nc.gov halftime report. I'm now joined with Reagan's principal, Brad Royale. Principal Royale, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So how has it been opening up the school ever since COVID happened? How's it like having students back in the building?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for all that you guys are doing with My 48 and having these covering our football games here in the Triad area. I think that means a lot to our communities, and so we want to say thank y'all for doing that. And what a great atmosphere tonight. East has done a great job. The Kernersville community certainly come out to support their team, and very excited that our Pofftown crew also traveled over. So you asked me about kids being back in the building. Man, what a wonderful thing it's been having our kids back, and I think that they really needed to be back in the building. You know, COVID has been very difficult on everybody, but I think that as educators, we've realized it's probably been the hardest on kids, and so, you know, having these opportunities to be back in the building, to come to football games and be with their friends, I cannot tell you how amazing it's been and how important it is to kids as well.
Absolutely. And so you've returned back to athletics, you know, since COVID. What are your athletes saying, you know, returning to athletics this fall?
Oh, they are loving it. I mean, they really want to compete. You know, when you're in a sport, it's about a small community. It's a brotherhood or a sisterhood if it's a group of young ladies, and that opportunity to bond and be together is important, especially after what they've been through. And so our student athletes, they're walking the hallways and they're excited to be able to come out in the afternoons and participate in something they really enjoy doing.
And I know you have a new athletic director, Mr.
Yeah.
Mitch Adams. How is he fitting into Reagan High School?
So I've known Mitch since Mitch graduated college. So I've known him for a long time. We go to church together. He is an absolutely fantastic person. Really excited about having him. We stole him out of South Stokes, and he has come in and just hit the ground running. He's had a lot to learn, even though he had been in AD, but he is really working hard and super excited to have him on board. He has quickly adapted to Raider Nation.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here and taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you so much for having us. And again, thank you for what you do for us.
Thank you. We'll be back with more after this next break. Welcome back to the myspot.nc.gov halftime report. I am now joined with East Forsyth Principal Rusty Hall. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for being here.
So I know that you guys have returned since COVID. How has that been for you, having students back into the school?
It's been amazing. I mean, a school without children is a very sad place, and so it's been great to have them back. It's been great that they can come out and experience all of high school. So we preach here at East Forsyth that we want well-rounded students, and so social life and extracurricular activities is part of that, and so it's great to have this atmosphere, this energy out here.
Absolutely. And so what sets East Forsyth sets them apart from other schools in this area?
So I think it's community. You'll find that many of our students' parents went here and grandparents went here, and so it's just a community atmosphere. We have great support from our community. We have great partnerships. The Kernersville Police Department are great partnerships. They're here. They enjoy being here. Family support, atmosphere. It's just a great community, a great family of folks here supporting our students.
That's awesome, and I know that you're a new principal here. What are your goals for the remainders of your years to come?
So my goal is excellence. We tell our students that we're not expecting perfection, but we want them to bring excellence every day, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's the band that just did an amazing performance, or it's our football team, or all of our athletics. We want our students to bring excellence each and every day, so they're prepared for whatever they want to do after high school, whether it's work, college, military, whatever it is. We want them to walk across the stage. I said, I want you to shake my hand, ready for the next step.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you being here and taking the time to speak with us.
Wonderful. Thank you for all you do, and this is a great avenue for us to share East Forsyth with the rest of the community.
Absolutely. Before the game, I had a chance to interview one of our sponsors from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, and here's what they had to say.
I'm here with Joshua Swift. He is the Public Health Director of the Forsyth County Department of Public Health. Joshua, thank you so much for being here tonight and for joining us.
Happy to be here.
So what is a little bit of who you are and what your role is?
So as you said, I'm the health director for Forsyth County. So part of that is being the leader of the public health department. We got 250 staff who are dedicated to keeping the county and the residents safe and healthy.
Awesome. And so what are our stats currently in our area for COVID?
So unfortunately, COVID is high. We're at almost the high of January, where we had 250 cases per day. Now we're averaging about 200 cases per day. So it's gone up since the middle of the summer, pretty high. And there's a lot more deaths actually in the past month from COVID, almost 50 deaths.
Wow. And with that, where can people go if they want to help fight against COVID-19 and if they want to get vaccinated?
So you can go get vaccinated. We're at the health department 5 days a week. We're also doing outreach events. We'll be at the health department tomorrow, Saturday, from 9 until 3, offering COVID vaccine, offering vaccine for students that have went back to school and haven't got their vaccines yet, other vaccines. Plus you can go to pharmacies and doctor's offices all over the county.
Wow, that's awesome. And now you're vaccinated. Would you like to share your personal story of why you got vaccinated?
Well, I got vaccinated really to protect my family, to protect my wife, to protect my kids. I've got a 10-year-old over here off the screen who can't get the vaccine yet. So there's lots of people that are too young to get the vaccine, but also I got an 84-year-old dad and a 74-year-old mother-in-law, and I'm trying to protect them and stop the spread.
Well, we're certainly glad you're here tonight and for giving us all this information. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this, after the break.
All right. All right.
Welcome back to the myspot.nc.gov halftime report. I am now down here for Carolina's Classic Fair of the Week and also joined with event and branding manager DJ Hargrave. DJ, what are we watching right now?
We're watching a pretzel stacking contest presented by the Carolina Classic Fair. We have 2 students stacking a fair food favorite pretzels on their heads, and the winner gets a really cute stuffed animal, another thing that reminds us of the fair.
Awesome. And so when is the Carolina Classic Fair and what can people expect when they go?
The Carolina Classic Fair is October 1st through the 10th. That's 2 weeks from today is when the first day of the fair will be. We have concerts with Andrew Ripp, Baylor Wilson, Color Me Bad tag team, and many other national acts. We have a lot of new rides and entertainment coming this year, a lot of new attractions that the public is going to love.
Awesome. And why is it so important for the Carolina Classic Fair and the fairgrounds to support Friday Night Football?
It's really important for us to support high school football because, you know, we love our fair friends from all across the state. You know, right now we're in Kernersville. Of course, we have a large audience from Winston, Greensboro, all the different counties in Winston-Salem and in North Carolina in general. So it's really important for us to be out here, support the education system, and just really just have a good time for the students and fans out here.
Absolutely. And you mentioned events. So when people go to the Carolina Classic Fair, what can people expect and like what new events have you guys added?
I'll tell you what, the concerts are a big deal for us, and we have also added a sports zone presented by the Carolina Classic Fair. We'll have different local sports teams representing themselves at the fair this year. We're really excited about that.
Awesome. All right, Chris and Mark, we're going to go back to you after this game is over.
All right, Hannah, thanks so much. How about Cadence Booth on the right in the jersey? Cadence Booth, a volleyball player here at East Forsyth, going to Tennessee to play volleyball. Just picked up her 1,000th career kill this week. Over 800 kills already this season for this East Forsyth volleyball team.
The athletes everywhere across this field.
Really impressive stuff. Let's take a look back now, Mark, at our halftime stats as we get ready for the third quarter of this one here on the halftime coverage, myshot.nc.gov halftime report. You look at the halftime stats, we'll tell you the story of why this is such a competitive game.
Yeah, and really kind of shocking when you look at it, the way that the scoreboard has gone tonight. You would think that East Forsyth has been really moving the football well, but Reagan's been right on par with them. I think Reagan really played an excellent first half. You see pretty even across the board in most stats.
Penalties will be the bugaboo for both teams, and I'm sure that was the message at halftime by both head coaches. As we look back at the first half stats, it started early with Reagan's defense, East Forsyth's defense forcing the safety on Reagan.
Yeah, and you got to think right then and there, you wanted to come out and assert your presence early on. If you're Reagan, a play like that definitely does not help your cause, but to their credit, they kept playing, and VJ Wilkins found a seam down the sideline for Reagan's first score of the night.
74-yard pitch and catch for a touchdown. That had the students over at Reagan all fired up. And then on the ensuing kickoff, Jamon Brown, 80 yards to the house. Might have stepped out of bounds, but that's kind of a moot point.
Yeah, still scored. They put it down as a touchdown, and just like that, East Forsyth was back on the board and had a tremendous answer.
And then how about that? Again, over the top. That was Damon Stokes for the touchdown. That one went for 45 yards. And then at the end, it's another big play by the two defenses. And toward the end of the first half, again, another big play by this Reagan defense. Big sack there to end the half by Noah Hayes. And it's a 15-9 lead here at the break. Chris Edwards, Mark Covert, rest of our great team. Really fun first half to watch if you love good quality high school football.
Yeah, and I think, again, Reagan played a great half of football. Early on, it seemed like they were going to let this thing get out of control, but allow them to just continue to work and really let this team do what they're really good at doing. And for East Forsyth, they played a good first half, but again, the yardage, the way the scoreboard looks right now, you thought they would have moved the ball so much more. It was a very, very competitive first half. Give credit to both teams in that regard.
Biggest adjustment you think the two coaches talked about at halftime?
Well, realistically, for Reagan, it's going to be about those penalties. They're about even in penalty yardage, but it killed Reagan more. Those drives that they were able to sustain were killed by some of those penalties. They weren't able to put as many points on the board as they want. For East Forsyth, really, it's about sustaining drives. Reagan was able to do that first half. East Forsyth was more of a big hit, big splash kind of play. A team in the first half, they've got to find some stability offensively and continue to have great drives.
If this is what it's going to be like in this conference, week in and week out, man, if you're a fan of these two clubs, you're in for some really fun football over the next several weeks as we get toward the finish line of the high school football season. Down on the field, Hannah standing by with Reagan head coach Josh McGee.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here with Reagan head coach Josh McGee. Coach, what have you seen in this first half that you're wanting to come out and do in the second half?
Yeah, really proud of our guys in our effort. You know, we start off second play of the game, you give them 2 points. That was not a part of the game plan. But really proud of our defense, the way we're playing. We're doing some good things on offense. We got 24 minutes to figure it out. Gotcha.
And what is your message to your team coming back out in the second half, and how do you want to get your players motivated?
Yeah, we told them at halftime, we make the decision on how this game ends. We've got 24 minutes to play as hard as we can and see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more after this break.
Six-point lead for East Forsyth as we prepare to start the third period from Fred E. Lewis Stadium. Chris Edwards, Mark Covert, Hannah Brady, and the rest of our tremendous team with you. It'll be East Forsyth football up by 6 to start the third period of play. We get ready for another Arnold Jones kickoff. Avoid costly breakdowns with energy-saving agreements from Arnold Jones Services Heating and Air. Rocco Gigalotti nailed a 35-yard field goal to make it a 6-point game toward the waning moments of the second quarter, and he gets us off and going here in quarter number 3. A fair catch signaled and decent field position for the Eagles, who look to soar to the end zone to start the third quarter.
Again, you're going to have to find some stability on offense and sustain a drive. Of course, you love the big plays, and East Forsyth had plenty of them early on, but after that point, this Reagan defense did a really good job of forcing this offense into some tough positions. And we're going to see if they can continue to do that here in the second half. It's going to be a tall task. Reagan played a really good first half. We're going to see some of the adjustments that they made and see if they can continue to hang with the Eagles of East Forsyth.
East Forsyth in the first 3 games of the season, Mark, outscoring their opponents 56-0 in the third quarter. This has been the money quarter for Todd Willard's club.
Again, those big-time adjustments. That's how you win football games in the third. Pull away.
We'll start on the ground here. Not much doing right up the middle. Just a small gain that time. And how about the way that Reagan finished the first half defensively? A couple of big stops, including a big sack.
Well, again, we just talked about how this East Forsyth team, after those big plays in the first quarter, there just wasn't much for them in the second quarter. And they've got to find a way to sustain drives and make multi-play drives happen and then capitalize by putting points on the board.
Jamon Smith ahead for a couple of yards. Back-to-back running plays to start the third stanza for the Eagles. It brings up third down.
Put yourself in a third and short situation, though. Good job to move the ball and give yourself a chance. Now, again, this was the bugaboo for Coach Willard and his team last week. 0 for 4 on third down. We're going to see what kind of play call they have here on 3rd and short.
3 for 5 in the first half. Much better after going 0 for 4 last week. They'll keep it on the ground. This is Rayner, who gets out across the 45-yard line. They convert another 3rd down opportunity. Move the change, another Crescent Ford first down. Test drive a new EcoSport at Crescent Ford in High Point. It's got the things you need to do the things you've always wanted.
Yeah, Rayner can do exactly what he wanted there as well. Working behind that convoy of offensive linemen out in front of him. Picks up first down.
Again, this is Smith turning it upfield and gets near midfield. Pickup of 2 that time. It was Samaj Turner in on the stop.
I think this Reagan defense wants to put the game on the back of number 1 there, Rayner, the quarterback. Don't allow this offense to, again, do what it wants to do, run the football, put it on the back of the quarterback. Make sure he's the one making plays and he's the one that's going to beat you, not this plethora of attacks running the football.
This time it's Quan Porter. Shimmies to the outside, spun down at the 45, gets 5, brings up 3rd down. It's been all running to start the 3rd quarter for East Forsyth. You wonder if Todd Willard and the offensive staff really challenged his football team at halftime to come out and establish the run.
If you want to assert your presence up front, come out of the half and dictate the flow, and they've done it so far.
Again to the outside. Again it's Porter, and another first down. The second of this drive for East Forsyth.
I'm sure what they talked about in the locker room, guys, we haven't done what we're supposed to do, and what we know we can do as an offense, that's run the football. They don't just run the football, Chris. They run it well. This is exactly what they do. And you can see them starting to really open it up now. They're getting those rushing lanes and asserting their dominance up front.
Reagan crowds the box. Pressure in the face of the quarterback, Rayner. And he's got a lot of real estate in front of him. Into the second level. Oh, look at the move. And then he's brought down from behind. Another huge run. A pickup of 26 and a Crescent Ford first down.
I'll tell you what, even more nifty than the move in the secondary was the way he was able to move in the pocket. Look at Rayner getting away from multiple guys. He looked like he was dead to right, but keeps his feet alive, continues to keep his eyes downfield, and finds a lane to run through, and was all green from there. Rayner making plays with his legs here to open up the second half.
Now in the Boost Mobile Orange Zone. Boost Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Strung out that time for a small gain is Porter. Brings up 2nd down and long.
But even on that last play where it looked like it was supposed to be a pass, Rayner able to make a play with his legs again. And right now it's been nothing but running the football for this East Forsyth offense.
54 yards on this drive to start the 3rd period, all on the ground. And 3 minutes have already evaporated off the 3rd quarter clock. High snap. Rayner, 3-step drop. And tries to chunk one down the field, but it's batted down. Incomplete. Nice job that time by Jackson Hambris, the starting defensive end, to get his paw on it.
Active hands. Yeah. So they always tell you, try to get your hands up. If you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up in the air to knock the pass down. Great job. Active makes a play on that football. You gotta love that. And now 3rd and long. We haven't seen them yet in this drive in a 3rd and long situation. If you want to continue this drive and put those points on the board, put it in the box, you've got to convert here.
Off schedule offensively. Boy, look at Reagan crowding the box.
And they're still moving. They're creating some uncertainty in the front for that offense. And Rayner looked like he might be a little confused by it. You can see no one's down yet.
5 on the play clock. Play action, bit of a bobbled snap. Rayner calls his own number. And again, now inside the 10-yard line. Samaj Turner again leading the stop. A gain of 4, but it brings up 4th down.
And I think they're going to go for it, Chris.
Now, looks like the field goal unit coming on, Mark.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm a little surprised by that. If you want to come out here and really stake your claim on this game, you're deep in your own territory. Even if that's the case for Reagan, they've got a country mile to go for a touchdown. A little surprised. Again, get your points on the board, but still.
It's be about a 24-yard field goal try from Conrad, who missed from 55 at the end of the half. And this one is good. So Reagan gives up the field goal as East Forsyth marches down the field. And it's East Forsyth who takes the 9-point advantage midway through this 3rd quarter. Conrad nails the field goal. It's a 2-possession lead for East Forsyth. And we're back with more with our Carolina Classic Friday Night Rivals presented by Roan Law right after this.
QB Jalen Rayner has done a really great job establishing this Forsyth offense tonight. Earlier this week, I asked Coach Willard how much he has grown as an athlete, and he said that he has the confidence now and feels more confident leading this varsity team, and I can certainly see that here tonight as he walks, his head held high, and he's made a lot of good offensive passes tonight. Chris and Mark, back to you.
Thanks. You know, Todd Willard said that Jalen Rayner wasn't expecting to be the varsity quarterback in the spring and has taken on more of a leadership role, more comfortable as a leader. Game has really slowed down for him this season, and you can see why with his team up 18-9.
If you're going to have someone playing the quarterback position, you expect him to be a leader, if not the leader of your offense. He's going to be the one that controls the tempo, that's going to be touching the ball on almost every single snap. So that guy's got to be a leader and a voice and a presence, a strong presence for your offense. And Rayner taking on that leadership role has got to be huge for what this East Forsyth team has wanted to do and what they've done so far.
See how Cam Hill and the Reagan offense responds. Down by 2 scores, another Arnold Jones kickoff, and another touchback for Andrew Conrad. What a weapon. What a weapon.
Just don't give him a chance, especially with number 2 back there. Gillette for Reagan is back there deep. Don't give him a chance. And Conrad does just that. Now we're going to get a chance to see this Reagan offense for the first time. See how they kind of game plan for this second half. Maybe giving more opportunities and space for number 2, but this is a defense that likes to fly around. How are they going to offset them pitting their ears back and getting after the backfield?
John Gillette, the running back, has yet to break one of those big runs tonight. You know, he's averaging 126 yards a game, averaging 7 yards a carry, but all his runs tonight have come between 4 and 6 yards. He's not been able to break that huge run. And he's not going to do it here either, as he's wrestled down by Michael Mullins, the nose tackle, for a loss of maybe a yard.
When you look at what he does in a game, through 3 games, he's got 627 yards coming into tonight. It's a little over 200 yards a game. The next closest guy has 266. That's for his all-purpose yards. So this is the guy who makes your offense go, the engine turn. And he's got to get his touches.
3-step drop. Hill with pressure in his face, eludes 2 defenders, and now still on his feet, and finally mashed down shy of the 30-yard line. He'll be close to the mark, or a pickup of 7, but it'll bring up 3rd down and manageable here for Reagan, facing their first 3rd down of the 3rd quarter.
Just as we've been impressed with the way that Rayner for East Forsyth has played tonight, Hill's played a pretty good game in his own right as well. He's made some good decisions, running the football, keeping it and tucking it down, and also making some nice passes down the football field as well. Both quarterbacks have played here well tonight. First challenge for Reagan on this first drive of the second half.
Josh McGee, the head coach of Reagan, talked about how much Hill has grown as a leader as this season has progressed. 3rd down, 1 to go. They hand it off to Gillette. He'll get the first down. The first big run he's breaking tonight, and he breaks one out across the 40-yard line. Another crescent forward first down. You can ride to the game in style with a new Eco Sport from Crescent Ford at High Point. It's got the things you need to do the things you've always wanted, but I believe we do have some laundry on the field. Almost where Gillette went down could be in the area of maybe a face mask.
Potentially speaking, there's a whole host of penalties this could have been, but a nice play call there on 3rd down. Get it in Gillette's hands. And Power working off the left side of that offensive line. Great job to get upfield. And again, Gillette's first big run, but it looks like it's going to be brought back.
Yeah, holding there on Reagan. And I think what frustrates you most if you're Josh McGee there is it happened at the end of the play after the first down was already achieved.
Well, yeah, and that's tough. It's a tough spot to be in. You'll see here Gillette working his way upfield and maybe just a little bit of a tug. I got to tell you, I didn't see much there, but the flag did come right at that spot, so maybe just kind of tugged a little bit. And just can't let go. You got to be able to release the defenders and allow them to make a play if they're in the position to do so.
So it's still first down. First down was achieved, but they just back it up 10 yards. So instead of it being 1st and 10 from the 40, it's now 1st and 10 from the 30. So I guess you do count that as another 3rd down conversion for this Reagan offense, trying to hang with East Forsyth. Hill, quick out. Wilkins, who has the touchdown catch tonight, picks up 5. VJ Wilkins, who runs a 4.3 40, comes from great stock. His parents were high school sweethearts. His dad played football at Winston-Salem Carver High School. A nice young man having a nice career here for the Reagan Raiders.
Absolutely. You saw that speed showcased in the first half. Of course, you want to get them into space. That time, just a great job of running to the football by that Eagles defense.
2nd down and medium. Already a quick moving 3rd quarter. Both teams have been keeping it on the ground. Again, it's Gillette. And again, out into the 2nd level. Gillette is wrestled down. That'll be probably a horse collar as he gets out near midfield. And Gillette a little frustrated. But I don't believe he got a flag there, Mark, unless did he throw one?
Yeah, right here on the sideline.
That's what I thought. So should be an extra 15 yards here. Just too high of a tackle. I think Todd Willard has a point. There was no horse collar. He was not pulled down by the horse collar,
right,
but was grabbed around the neck. And I think anything above the shoulders is going to elicit a flag from the officials. Now, unless this is another hold on Reagan.
And Galette's still pretty upset about that, too.
Well, in this era of player safety, you can never be too cautious.
Right. What's happened here? Reagan's walking back down the field.
Josh McGee a little upset, and you can understand why if this goes against the Raiders, why the 10th year head man might be a little upset. It's going to be another hold it call here against Reagan. We'd love to see another look here to see if we can spot the culpable party. And right on cue, we'll take a look.
I'm going to see, it was along the East Forsyth sideline. So again, right there.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe right there. Okay, a little bit of a hold.
Not much. And
maybe a tug there from the wide receiver, Waylon Noble.
That's the 2nd time on this drive, if that's the case, that Noble's been flagged for a hold.
But again, it is enough for a 1st down. So after the 10-yard penalty, 1st down and 9. I beg your pardon, 2nd down and 9. But it should be 1st down.
It should be 1st down.
Because the 1st down was achieved.
And it was done after, again, Gillette had reached the 1st down.
Correct. Todd Willard, Josh McGee, both a little perplexed. And look at Coach McGee. He is really upset. It has not been the cleanest officiated game tonight.
Well, and I think especially for Reagan, when you're looking at it, you're actually moving the ball. Again, another drive where they've been able to move the football, and now the game has completely stopped.
And I'm not debating that there was a hold there. I think there could have been another foul, maybe an offsetting foul, tacked on for the tackle above the neck.
Right. And there could have been. I'm honestly a little surprised that there wasn't, but again, now the game has just been stopped, and you had a quick moving start to the 2nd half. 3rd quarter was chugging right along. Reagan staying on schedule and getting a drive, and you got to be a little frustrated on that Raiders sideline because the game has just stopped.
It's officiating crew tonight, spearheaded by Carlos Torrin.
And they're just trying to.
They're trying to sort out what down it should be.
Right. So it should be 1st down.
But if the gain was sufficient for a 1st down, even after the penalty was marked off, I think it should still be. It was not a dead ball foul.
Well, if you're pushing it back 10 yards from where the spot of the foul occurred.
Remember, the ball was at the 30-yard line initially.
Yes.
And the ball now spotted at the 35. But the gain was out to the 45-yard line. As the officials sort this one out, we're going to remind you that coming up in the 4th quarter, we'll have tonight's Roan Law play of the game. Roan Law, the Triad's injury attorneys. And now Todd Willard really upset, and he's saying his piece to this officiating crew. I don't imagine the holiday card list will include all of these particular parties involved.
If it did before, it's definitely not now. It's a tough spot. You know, being an official is a tough job.
And we do appreciate what the officials do, and they want to get the calls right, and we understand that.
Yeah.
But and I think they adjudicated this one fairly, but now they're going to mark it at the 35, so it becomes 1st and 5. Because the ball was at the 45, 50-yard line. It's now backed up, so it really becomes 1st down and 5. After all that, 1st and 5 for Reagan.
Replace the football?
A lengthy delay, but we're ready to go again. to the ground. Gillette has some blockers out in front, and he is sandwiched down at the 45-yard line. Surprisingly, no flags on this play, and it's a Crescent Ford of High Point first down.
And they're finding some running room now that we're back at it with Gillette. For the last 3 times he's rushed the football, it's been off the left side of that offensive line. They've been running it well, getting him out in space. There's been no one home for the Eagles of East Forsyth.
All juniors and seniors across that offensive line for Reagan. East Forsyth on a drive here, Reagan on a drive against this East Forsyth defense as we're approaching the halfway point of the third quarter. Gillette again, bottled up, but somehow finds daylight. And it takes a couple of Eagles to bring him down. Michael Mullins making the initial hit, pick up a foul.
Kind of go back to what we talked about at the very beginning of this broadcast, Chris, and how size doesn't matter when you talk about John Gillette. Look at this, just breaks a tackle. East Forsyth had this blown up in the backfield. And then on top of that, to finish the play, he keeps moving his legs and getting more yards. You got to love the way he runs the football. For a guy his size, he plays 1,000 times bigger than what he is.
5'10", 170. A senior getting some interest from the Ivy League. Tells you that he's getting it done both on the field and in the classroom.
Don't tell this kid he doesn't have a chance.
Gillette, the bell cow, slips by one defender and runs into his own man. He's bottled up near the 45-yard line. It'll depend on the spot. Gains 4, maybe 5. But it'll bring up maybe a third down and very short.
And I'll tell you what, we kind of noticed coming out of the half, there seems to have been a little bit of dew that's set down on the field. And maybe that's affecting some of the tackling right now for this East Forsyth defense. They're just kind of sliding off a Gillette. Nothing to take away from John.
Sure.
But maybe that's playing a bit of a part in it.
Certainly feels like Josh McGee, the head coach of Reagan, much like Todd Willard, the head coach of East Forsyth, challenged his football team to run the football as they come out for the third quarter.
That's what both teams want to do. You've got a premier athlete in number 2 and white in the backfield. If you're Reagan, get him the ball.
Third down in a yard. It's Gillette straight ahead. And we'll get enough for the first down. Another third down conversion for this Raider offense.
And another drive that they've been able to sustain as well. We talked about how well they played in the first half. Despite the lack of points, they were able to move the football against this defense. And they're doing it again for their drive now here in the second half. Have a chance to move the football, and this offensive line is rolling right now.
It's been the Gillette show here to start the third quarter. Remember, last week in that game against Myers Park, toted the Mel 23 times. Approaching that number again this evening. This time it'll be Hill to throw. Steps up in the pocket and dumps one that is nearly intercepted. Instead, it's caught out there, and another tremendous catch made by this Raider receiving core. It's Montrell Jones who makes the catch and picks up 8.
What a catch. Hill just trying to make a play. Not a great throw that time. Just not a good decision. You see them closing in on the football. Just what concentration that time to bring that ball in. Hill did a good job of extending just an ill-advised throw, but credit his receivers coming up and making big-time plays.
Zion Ellison nearly had the interception. If he hauls that in, it's probably 6.
Just right out of his grasp. I mean, just right out. Alligator armed it, maybe just a touch.
Second down, short, play action, wanting it all. Deep ball down the sideline. It's hauled in. It's Jones who's in. A touchdown. Back-to-back catches for Jones. His first touchdown grab of the season. And it's the Raiders off the Sunbelt Reynolds touchdown who are right back in the game.
And they've been trying to hit that route all night long, taking those deep shots over and over and over again. Now it finally pays off with the deep shot. Beautifully thrown ball. And Jones coming down. 2 plays, 2 catches, add a tutty to the back end. Raiders are right back in this thing.
Sunbelt Reynolds offering rental locations across the Triad to quickly deliver ready-to-work equipment when and where you need it. And the extra point is true by Rocco Gigalotti. Well, how about this for a ball game? Late in this third quarter, to the air, the Raiders doing it on the ground, they're doing it in the air. It's the touchdown toss, the second of the night for Cam Hill. He finds Montrell Jones, and it's all the way back to a 2-point game when you return to Kernersville. 2-point lead for East Forsyth as they get the football back. Stay tuned in the fourth quarter. We'll have tonight's West Rock scoring summary. West Rock, your local leader in paper, packaging, and displays. Come join our team at jobs.westrock.com. What a barn burner as we lift the lid on conference play here between these two rivals. 14th meeting between Reagan and East. Reagan trying to win here at East for the first time ever, and that's a live ball down the sideline, and it'll be East who survives on that Arnold Jones kickoff. My goodness. How about the hustle? Sorry, partner. Landon Callahan getting down there and nearly recovering that live ball.
Hugh Brown trying to make a play, run up on that football, just missed it, short-armed it, went right between his legs. And once that ball goes 10 yards, it's a live football. That's free. Just kind of kicked it in no man's land. It's a really good execution by Gigalotti to kick that ball and locate it where it was at, but just was not able to come up with that. Reagan so close to catching a huge break, now down 2.
East Forsyth got the opening possession of the third quarter, all on the ground to start the second half, kicked a field goal to take the lead, and now they start on the ground again with Quan Porter, and he is met and dropped after a small gain.
Just continuing that theme. Come out here and run the football. It's an Eagles offense that loves to do that to set up their pass. So many guys do it so well. You can't just key in on one guy. Eventually, at some point, someone's going to break one here for this East offense.
Brown in single coverage at the bottom of your screen for East Forsyth. Instead, it's the quarterback, Rayner, who keeps it, and Rayner finds a lot of daylight. Spins off a man. And Rayner is finally tripped down from behind. The quarterback, Jalen Rayner, making it happen. A gain of 45 yards for the Eagles, who soar into plus territory. Hold the phone, partner. There is a flag down at the end of the play.
We'll see what that is, but what another effort. A true athlete, Rayner making another play with his feet, working off the right side of that offensive line. Gets upfield, shows some fancy moves in the backfield of Reagan that time. A little spin action right in the middle of the field before being dragged down. Good hustle by number 16 for Reagan. That's Jeremiah Bailey running him down from the backside, but Rayner, another explosive play for this offense.
If it stands, it would equal the largest run of the season for Rayner. It's an unsportsmanlike penalty, though, against East Forsyth, so it'll count. It's a 45-yard run, but they're backed up 15 yards. And, I tell you what, Rayner making a case for our player of the game. We'll have that tonight in the fourth quarter, a Carolina Classic player of the game. The Carolina Classic Fair, second to none in 2021.
For all the players you have to account for on this offense, and there are a myriad of them. You talk about Porter, Ingram, Smith, Stokes, Brown. Rayner has been the guy tonight that's done the most damage.
With that run, East Forsyth as a club now over 200 yards rushing. Remember, they average nearly 308 on the ground per contest. Box snap here, and Rayner just has to fall on it. Now, interesting to note that this Reagan defense last week only allowed 104 rushing yards in that loss at Myers Park. Conversely, a couple of weeks ago in the season opener against North Davidson, gave up 226 on the ground.
Yeah. Their only win of the season, but still able to shut down opposing running games. Now again, we were told this week that, of course, they were facing teams that weren't primarily focused on running the football. They want to put the ball in the air, so this is their first true test against a team that wants to run the football. And so far tonight, they've done enough. Bend but don't break defense.
On second down and long, a screen is batted down, intercepted. Noah Haynes with the pick. Haynes inside the red zone. A game-changing play for the Raider defense.
This is a two-parter, partner. I mean, the great deflection on the screen pass that time. It was going to be an excellent execution. The rushers for Reagan got upfield. It was right there for East Forsyth, but a mistake. Trying to come back for a wide receiver screen, knocked up in the air. And Haynes right there for the pickup. What a play. Josh Lobbs knocking the football away, and Haynes there, opportunistic football, plucking it out of the air and running it back.
A return of 37 for Noah Haynes. It's the third interception of the season for this Raider defense. And now in the Boost Mobile Orange Zone, it's a chance for Reagan to take their first lead of the night.
These Raiders have hung around all night long. Are they finally going to break through and get themselves into a leading position here?
Remember, Reagan has never won a game here at East Forsyth. They've only won once in the series, 2019. This is Hill with time, throws one to the flats. It's Gillette out of the backfield, who picks up 5. Second down coming up. Reagan can get a first down just inside the 5-yard line.
Nice little play design that time, kind of like a naked screen for Gillette on the right side. No blockers out in front, but able to pick up good amount of yards, and now second down upcoming, very manageable 2nd and 5.
We talked about it earlier. This is a Reagan team that is 1-2. They have faced 3 teams in the top 25 in the state already this year. They're battle tested. Reagan said, we played that schedule to win our conference, trying to knock off a team that has won 2 state titles in the last 3 years.
When you talk about a defense that's dangerous, this might be where they are most dangerous in a condensed field.
This is Gillette to the outside. Gillette toward the end zone and in. It's Reagan on top for the first time tonight. The 4th rushing score of the year for Gillette, a Sunbelt Reynolds touchdown, and the first points East has given up in the 3rd quarter of any game this year.
And what a way to do it. They run the football, these Reagan Raiders do. And Gillette is the guy that is toting the rock more than anyone else in this offense. We've seen him find some daylight here in the second half, finally breaks through for a big touchdown here in the 3rd quarter.
And now look at this. It looks like Reagan is going to keep their offense on the field. They're going to go for 2. This would make it a 6-point game if they're successful.
Forces East Forsyth, if they're going to score, or if they do, they have to convert that extra point to take the lead back.
How about Gillette? 107 total yards now. He's touched the football 24 times.
He is the bell cow. This is the guy who makes this offense run.
Inside of 10 now on the play clock. Hill calling for it. Rolling out, looking for Gillette. He's in no man's land. Shimmies from defenders. Looking for the edge. A jump pass. Incomplete. And might have been an illegal forward pass anyway. It remains just a 4-point lead, although now, with 1:59 to go in the 3rd quarter, East Forsyth needs a touchdown.
Right. And something that they have not been able to do consistently tonight is continue to have great drives. They have one potentially going here, but again, just knocked away. Haynes playing opportunistic football and plucking that football out of the air sets up the first lead of the night for these Raiders of Reagan. And you see Gillette here, just a big hole on the right side of that defense. What a way to finish that drive. You get the ball in such great field position. You can't just kick and get 3 points. You got to put that ball in the box, and that's exactly what Reagan does. Just storm back and now take the lead.
What a statement this would be for Reagan to the rest of the conference. Reagan's only won 1 time in the series. We told you about that. That came back in 2019. They won at Reagan, 21-17 over in Pafftown. Again, have never won here at Lewis Stadium. East leads the series 12-1, but right now the 2-time defending state champion in the last 3 years, a little bit on the ropes in the 3rd quarter. Time for another Arnold Jones kickoff. Avoid costly breakdowns with energy-saving agreements from Arnold Jones Services Heating and Air. Another short kick, another live ball, this time played nicely by East Forsyth, who has 1 kickoff return for a touchdown tonight, but not much for Jamon Stokes. He is brought down near the 35-yard line. And a team that has been through these wars time in and time out, a coach in Todd Willard who has been in these tight games. Let's see how East responds here. Down 4, trailing for the first time tonight.
Well, you brought it up, Chris. If there is a team that is built to come back from this and they've got the coaching staff and the leadership to do it, it is these East Forsyth Eagles. But they've got to put something together with a sustainable drive so they can put points on the board here and get back into this.
Remember, Todd Willard told us this week his offense needs to be better at sustaining drives. They were 0 of 4 on 3rd downs last week. Costly turnover. See how they handle things offensively. They'll start on the ground with Rayner. Cuts up the field, and then he's upended at the 45-yard line, a gain of 9. And imagine for Rayner, the quarterback just has to have a short memory after that interception.
Well, absolutely. And it's just about getting that ball over the top. Really, Reagan played that almost perfectly. The rushers got upfield, but they just happened to be right place, right time. You got to have a short memory, like you said, Chris. Just block that out. You continue to play, that you live for the next down, right? And for Rayner right now, he's going to have to be the guy that's going to get this offense going, because Reagan's making a conscientious effort to stop everyone else.
And they stop him here on 2nd down and 1. Samaj Turner wreaking havoc in the backfield again. 3rd down.
Turner's been spectacular tonight. He hasn't shown up a whole lot on the stat sheet, but the impact that he has been phenomenal. He's creating pressure, disrupting plays in the backfield. The 6'3", 235-pound senior has been all over it tonight, and just another example of why he is highly touted on this defense.
3rd down. East trying to keep the drive alive.
It's not even an obvious passing down. The way that Rayner has run for the most part tonight, he could take off.
Rayner pump fakes, looking downfield, finds a seam in the defense and completes the pass out across midfield. Nice catch to move the chains that time. Hauled in for a gain of 14 yards. Completion that time to Tim Davis out of the backfield.
Really good job by Rayner just to move the pocket that time, slide his feet out to the left side and find a man downfield to complete the pass and pick up the 1st down.
East wants to push it a little bit here. 15 seconds to go in the 3rd. Back to the ground. This is Smith for virtually no gain. And that might take us to the end of the final couple seconds, the end of the period. The 3rd quarter evaporates. And how about this? Reagan on the road, battle tested. Their 2 losses by a combined 17 points. We head to the final quarter. It's the defense of the Raiders who comes up big. The interception by Haynes, leading to the big touchdown for John Gillette. And for the first time tonight, the Raiders have the lead. Come back with us. A big 4th quarter straight ahead as we open up league play on our Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals, presented by Roan Law.
You know, both of these teams tonight have really had a long way to get here, and they went through an unorthodox spring season to summer workouts, and we asked both these coaches how the turnaround was for coming back into this fall season. And East Forsyth, Todd Rillett, he said, you know, you have 3 options. You know, if you go to Cold Stone, you can get the like it size, the love it size, or the gotta have it size. And we have a bunch of guys that gotta have it. And when you have that quick transition, it's easy for players who really want to play to put their mind to it. And I certainly think that both these teams and East Forsyth are putting their minds to it to get the job done tonight.
Yeah, Hannah, I think you're exactly right. Both these teams had rocky spring seasons. Neither one made the playoffs, and looking to rebound here, get back to a sense of normal football. Once again, it's Ian Hayes up to make a nice play defensively for this Reagan defense as East has it. 3rd down coming with Reagan leading by 4 as we start the final period.
Putting the onus on the passing attack for this East Forsyth offense is this Reagan defense. They have shut down the run on this drive.
What's interesting, Reagan has given up over 300 yards passing in each of the last 2 games. Less than 100 yards passing tonight for East Forsyth. I understand they want to throw the football, but tell you what, Josh McGee, the head coach of Reagan, said we got to be better in the secondary. A chance here on 3rd down. They go deep down the field and incomplete. That ball maybe a little underthrown. Nice coverage in the secondary that time by Reagan. It looked like it was Jeremiah Bailey, the outside linebacker, who dropped back that
Just
time.
another example, though, for this Reagan defense. The secondary has played phenomenal. Outside of one deep pass tonight, they've been spectacular covering these deep routes run by East Forsyth, step for step, stride for stride. This secondary has been up to snuff tonight and have really stepped up. Again, after the last 3 weeks, allowing over 300 yards, you had to think that this week in practice, that was going to be a point of emphasis for them.
Second punt of the night coming for Andrew Conrad. VJ Wilkins is back deep to receive the punt. Some miscommunication here for East. And they got to hurry to get this one away. Conrad calling for the snap. Bobbles it. Has plenty of time, though. And a fortuitous home bounce will trickle out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. That's the 3rd punt inside the 20 this year for Andrew Conrad. A 33-yard boot, no return. And now the clock, the ally of the Reagan Raiders, trying to salt this one away, their opening drive of the final stanza.
And really, them having the effectiveness that they've had on the ground here tonight. John Gillette here in the second half has been able to wake up a little bit, partially because his offensive line has done a great job, but his vision has helped as well. And that clock, like you said, Chris, is going to continue to tick down. We're going to see if they can get another drive going here that can go multiple plays.
Pretty balanced attack for Reagan tonight. 140 on the ground, 162 through the air. No surprise, John Gillette gets the call on the ground and muscles his way for just a couple of yards. Todd Willert, the head coach of East Forsyth, telling us this week that his team has got to be better on defense about getting off the field. And you feel like this is an important drive with the opposition pinned back deep in the other end for Reagan to try to extend the drive for East Forsyth to find a way to get off the field and get the offense back out there.
Yeah, especially when you think about how much they struggled so far in this game about sustaining drives. We've only seen maybe 1 or 2 drives that they've really been able to move the football down the field on a series of plays instead of one play and done. Reagan's been able to do that basically all night long.
Again on the ground. Again, it's Gillette. And he gets out across the 20-yard line. Gets 4, needed 5. 3rd down coming up.
Gillette's a powerful guy. For as small as he is, maybe that's just that center of gravity, but he's finishing runs. He's pushing, he's putting his head down and making sure he's falling forward, and he's the one initiating contact. He's not getting hit, he is hitting them.
Reagan 6 out of 9 on 3rd downs tonight. Boy, this feels like, to this point in the game, maybe the biggest 3rd down opportunity for the Raiders.
This might be the biggest down of football to this point. You got to know where that football's going.
Number 2, Gillette. Stonewalled in the backfield, and it's going to depend on the spot. Will be awful close. And they will move the chains. It's another Crescent Ford 1st down. Crescent Ford of High Point. We keep you rolling.
It's a good job by the defense, but the first 2 downs really put them in a tough spot. Only a yard to go. And the way that this offense has run tonight, and let alone the second half, they've been phenomenal of opening up holes for number 2 and White.
Tell you what, both these teams running like one of those new F-150s for Crescent Ford tonight with the way that these 2 teams have been able to run the football.
Just a well-oiled machine.
Back to the ground. This is Gillette trying to get it to the outside. Gillette with maybe his biggest run of the night. Best and biggest. It's another 1st down for this Raider offense.
And you know what? We knew that he was a special player because when you look at the stats, again, over 600 total yards, and all those yards that come between running the football and catching it. No return yards to his name. So that's all been done offensively. You knew he was a big play threat, but I think we've seen the other side of John Gillette's game here tonight. It's been the methodical way that he's run the football, and this offense has found a way to continue to drive and drive and drive, even without the big play ability on full display here tonight.
Last 6 first downs for Reagan have come on the ground. You can see the game plan for both of these teams. East Forsyth crowding the box. Gillette again, bottled up. and maybe a yard for the senior running back.
But you know what? Even then, it looked like East Forsyth got into the backfield. At that point, he still picked up positive yardage. This offensive line is moving that line of scrimmage back. They are taking this East Forsyth front seven for a ride right now. They're not allowing them to come up and make plays through coverage. And of course, this offense for Reagan is more than content to continue to run that clock with its 4-point lead now on the board.
Gillette gets a blow this time. They go to Saunders for the first time this evening. Ty Lawson Saunders, with just his second carry of the season, brings up third down. And you imagine Gillette probably needs a blow after he's toted the mail so much tonight.
He's been just phenomenal. But to give him a little bit of a break here, because he's got to be gassed. I started thinking the last few plays, Chris, he's just got to be gassed. At some point, the kid's got to take a breather here, and maybe an inopportune time for him to be on the sidelines with the 3rd and 6 upcoming.
Do you go to the air here if you're Reagan?
Oh, you almost have to. If Gillette's on that sideline, you go to the air, try to pick up that first.
3rd and 6. Play action. A screen to the tight end. This is DeLong, and DeLong tiptoes the sideline and keeps the drive alive. The second catch of the night for the big tight end.
I like my screens with big guys catching the football. And the tight end making a play. DeLong, the second time he's made a play tonight. A tough first catch in the first half. And then breaks a tackle. He was almost dead to rights that time, but breaks the tackle, keeps moving down the field, picks up a massive first down for this Reagan offense.
A gain of 18, another crescent forward of High Point first down, and a stoppage in play with a Raider, or a East Forsyth player that is down on the far sideline. So while they attend to the injured player, we're going to step aside. It's Reagan on a drive, trying to add to this 4-point lead and what's been a barn burner here in Kernersville tonight. Stay with us. We'll have more of our Carolina Classic Friday Night Rivals presented by Roan Law right after this. Donovan Cole, the injured Eagle, who's being helped off the field as we resume 4th quarter action here in Kernersville. Reagan has come from behind to take the lead as the Raiders with the football, 1st and 10 now on the right side of the 50, trying to win their first ever game at Fred E. Lewis Stadium. An off week last week for Reagan, and boy, their game plan has really been terrific tonight.
I've been impressed. The play calling has been mixed up well. This is a run-heavy offense. They've been able to do a really good job.
John Gillette back in there at running back after taking the last couple plays off. Approaching 30 carries tonight. Got the rock 23 times a couple weeks ago in that game against Myers Park. He has certainly been the bell cow as he gets it again. Fresh legs, cuts up the field. And dragging men with him. How about that? Inside the 25. He's going to get close to another first down. It would be the 7th consecutive first down picked up on the ground by this Raider offense if they give it to him.
We've played 3 games, and he's been the best player on the field in all 3 games. That's what Coach McGee said about number 2 right here, and he has staked his claim as the best player on this field here tonight. He has been absolutely sensational with the football in his hands here this evening.
They do give him a first down, so move the chains. You can just see the wear and tear this game has taken on the 5'10 senior.
He just continues to run so hard.
Looks like he only has one motor, and that's just nonstop.
Exactly.
Clock the ally now. Gillette will get the rock for the 30th time tonight, and he stopped for a loss of a yard. All right, now 7 minutes to go. Let's look at this from an East Forsyth perspective. You're down 4. You could afford to give up a field goal.
Right.
But cannot give up the touchdown.
No, especially with the way the offense hasn't been able to really sustain anything when they've had the ball in their hands here tonight. So for them, it's bend or don't break. It's not. We're not panicking yet. If you're East Forsyth, you're down 4 points. There's just a shade under 7 minutes left in this football game. You can still make a play, and you're right back in this thing.
East Forsyth now crowding the box defensively. Reagan content to take as much of this clock as they can. Play clock down to 2. Gillette trying to run downhill, back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. 3rd and 10.
And here's where the next phase of this game is going to take place. If it's not John Gillette, someone else has to stand up, and that's going to have to be Cam Hill at the quarterback position.
Remember the last 3rd down, as Gillette trots off the field, it was the tight end screen to Jake DeLong.
And the way that this coaching staff for Reagan has called the game tonight, Coach McGee and his staff have to be pretty pleased with how it's gone so far. They've mixed up plays well between running and passing, and not just bread and butter stuff. A tight end screen was thrown in there. They've done a really good job about keeping this defense off balance.
Full house backfield here. Power pistol. Play action. Hill floats one to the outside. It is caught by Wilkins, and he slips by a defender and is going to depend on the spot. They're going to mark him half a yard short. Oh, Josh McGee and that Raider coaching staff can't believe the spot. It's now 4th down coming as we take another look.
Man, I want to see this because it really looked like Wilkins got out there. The speed, the 4-3 speed, getting out on the edge, splitting the 2 defenders. He put his hand on the ground. Did he pick up the first?
Well, Tim Davis maybe makes the tackle of the game. It's a better look at it here.
I'll tell you what, it looked like he kept his balance and got that first down.
Does it get just inside? I don't know, his knee might be down at the 35. And now
Davis covering that up, but a good tackle. If he kept him short right now, that's where they have it. A great tackle, and you got to think, again, 4th down, 1 yard to go. Who in this offense could possibly get the football? Another look here at Wilkins. Yeah, that's a good call. That's a great call on the sideline that time. Love the effort by Wilkins, but that's a good call by this officiating crew to get that one right.
So Reagan takes the timeout. They let the play clock run all the way down. 4.5 minutes left. The Raiders had the offense out on the field. Josh McGee lets the play clock run down. He calls his first timeout. You're almost in no man's land here with the ball at the 25-yard line. As Reagan talks about it, we will too. We'll come back with the conclusion of this one right after this on My 48. Four and a half minutes to go. Reagan with the 4-point lead at East Forsyth. The Raiders have never won a game here in Kernersville at Freddie Lewis Stadium. It's 4th and 1. Josh McGee's offense staying on the field. You need 1 yard if you're Reagan. Who gets the football?
Who do you think gets the football? If it's 4th and 1, and they're going under center here.
A lot of big guys up front. Reagan 0 of 1 on 4th down tonight. It's Gillette who does not get the call. It's Saunders straight ahead, and he didn't get it. for the second time tonight on 4th down. The East Forsyth defense holds, and the Eagles at home have a shot with 4.5 minutes left.
Where is John Gillette? He's been the guy all night long. He is the focal point of this offense, and he doesn't get the football on a 4th and 1. 4.5 minutes left. You're up by 4 in a place you've never won before. Where is John Gillette? You've got to get him the football.
Remember, if you're East Forsyth, you have to have a touchdown. East Forsyth, they've won 2 state titles in 2018 and 2019.
What a huge stand by the East Forsyth Eagles.
This will be just the 4th offensive play this quarter for East Forsyth. Can Jalen Rayner engineer a game-winning drive? A good start as he completes a pass out across the 30-yard line. It's Jamon Stokes who hauls it in. Take another look at this 4th down try.
Just the penetration up front, not allowing anyone to get home. It's interesting, they brought Samaj Turner in to block on the edge that time, and he let his guy get by. What a monumental play.
4 minutes, 3 timeouts for Todd Willard's offense. Design run for Rayner, gets to the edge, cuts upfield, and gets down, but does move the chains. Another crescent forward 1st down.
Rayner hasn't been tackled, I don't think, by the first guy all night tonight. He's done a terrific job of breaking that first tackle, making the first guy miss, and picking up extra yards after contact.
If every game in conference play across the Triad is going to be like this every week, sign me up. What a game.
There we go. The clock is continuing to run. Now 3.5 minutes left. East Forsyth still does have their full complement of timeouts, though, so they can play with the clock a little bit here.
They go to the ground, straight ahead. Porter across the 40, picks up 4. And if you're East, you want to score and win the game, but you also don't want to leave Reagan a whole lot of time.
Well, and here's the thing, too. It's you're not playing for a field goal. East Forsyth has to score a touchdown. It's not like they've got a chance to just go down and tie it and then you start playing for overtime. They're down by 4. So it's touchdown or bust now for these Eagles of East Forsyth. Rayner's been so great tonight about making great decisions with the football in his hand, whether it's keeping it himself and running it or making great passes.
This is Rayner again, straight ahead. Renault game.
And Reagan's seen that quarterback power so many times tonight, finally making an edge. Haynes with a huge interception earlier in this half to set up their Reagan offense with taking the lead. Now makes another play off the edge.
And now a big 3rd down. Obviously 4 down territory here for East Forsyth. 3rd and 4.
And their clock is just continuing to run.
Watch out for Brown in single coverage at the bottom of your screen. Rayner looking that way, and a diving catch by Brown, but it's incomplete. Had him on the cross. And just a couple of playmakers going at it there. It's 4th down, and the game hanging on the line here for East Forsyth.
Maybe just a little bit too inaccurate, way too far in front of Brown that time. He had to make a spectacular effort. Q Brown almost coming down with a huge catch, but to no avail. And now the biggest down of the football game to this point. Can Reagan get off the field, give that ball back to their offense, who's been so great about running the clock tonight?
4th and 4, and before the play, a timeout by Reagan. That leaves them with just 1 for the last 2:04 of the game. Okay, Coach Covert, you're Todd Willard, the head coach of East Forsyth. You're Ron Horton, the offensive coordinator. 4th and 4. Where are you going?
I am going to do what I've done all night tonight, and I'm going to put this game, this down, this series in the hands of my quarterback, number 1. He's been so spectacular about making sound decisions so far tonight. To pick up 4 yards, he's had so many great runs here this evening. I trust his ability to make a sound decision and pick up this 1st down. If I'm East Forsyth, I'm leaving this game in the hands of my quarterback, and that's Jalen Rayner.
Todd Willard, 155 and 73 in his career at East. This is a team at East Forsyth that since 2010, they've won 9 or more games in a season 9 times. They've won 10 or more games in a season 7 times. The model of consistency a state title in 2 of the last 3 years. And they open up conference play tonight with a Reagan team that has been battle-tested. Reagan with their 2 losses by a combined 17 points. The game on the line, 4th and 4. And look at Reagan, everybody up in the box. Just one single high safety. Rayner to throw, out pattern, and the game stays alive. And getting out of bounds after the catch is Jamon Stokes.
Nice play design that time. A lot of pressure coming off the left side of that offensive line for Reagan. Roll Rayner out to the right side, give him an easy pitch and catch. Out to the side and move the sticks does this offense. Stokes making a nice catch along the sideline.
Another crescent forward of High Point, first down.
It's a very smart play call. Don't allow Rayner to sit back in the pocket where he's going to be exposed to pressure.
Another read option. Again, it's Rayner. Rayner totes them out to the outside, and Rayner picks up another huge gain. Doing it with his arm and his legs now. Another crescent forward first down, as it's Reagan giving up a little bit of yards here now in the last couple plays.
It's a nice read by Rayner. A little read option that time, getting upfield and then bouncing back outside. And maybe most importantly, stopping the clock by going out of bounds. Save your team a timeout here as you approach the 20-yard line.
23-yard pickup, 1st and 10. This is Rayner to throw. Home run ball down the field. It's incomplete. Was looking for Stokes, and great coverage by Landon Callahan.
We've seen Callahan make some really great plays on the football here tonight. He's been excellent in coverage. Again, another deep route for this Reagan defensive backfield to guard, and they were phenomenal. Again, stride for stride, step for step down the field with these receivers of East Forsyth.
Another look.
Just another deep shot. It was a really well-placed ball, but again, Callahan, look at the eyes on the football, making a play. Just great coverage. You can't do any better than that in a late game situation. That is so huge.
And nearly a game-winning interception for Callahan. Stokes, after the play, a little slow to get up. Limps to the sideline here, so he's off for this 2nd down play with 105 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter.
I don't think we can talk about how well this secondary has played tonight. Outside of one deep pass that went for a touchdown in the first half with this East Forsyth offense, they have been absolutely unbeatable. You've got to credit the coaching staff coming back and allowing them to play some football here in this game after so many passing yards in the first 3 games. Finally coming back and establishing a presence in your defensive backfield.
East Forsyth needs a touchdown. Rayner, opening the 2nd level. This is a catch for East Forsyth, and another pickup, close to another first down. It's Tim Davis who hauls it in, and another crescent forward first down as East Forsyth on the move now.
Again, Reagan bringing that pressure straight up the middle. Good location on this ball. Rayner knows right where to go. Davis bobble, got to catch it the first time, but comes down with that catch huge. And moves those sticks, continues the drive, and keeps it alive.
Stokes back into the game now, the wide receiver for this 1st down and 10 play. Rayner calls his own number, brought down in the backfield, and Todd Willard calling a timeout.
Tell you what, Jeremiah Bailey made a great play on the edge that time. Ducked underneath of the block and able to make the play on Rayner before he get anything going. A phenomenal play on 1st down.
A loss of 3 will bring up 2nd and 13, and now East Forsyth has to call the timeout. And again, a field goal doesn't help you. Again, another great defensive play here, as you mentioned, by this defense for Reagan.
I mean, Bailey just works his way up the field and works right past. That was Quan Porter out on the edge, just went right past him and set himself up in the backfield. The way that this defensive backfield has attacked the line of scrimmage now, here in this back into the 3rd quarter and now in the 4th quarter, has been superb. If you're going to attack like that, you've got to make sure tackles in the backfield, and that's exactly what Reagan has done here in the 2nd half.
2nd and 13. What are you doing here if you're East Forsyth? You have 2 timeouts left and 68 seconds to work with.
We have to continue to put the football in the air. Put it in the hands of Jalen Rayner. Allow him to make plays, whether it's with his arm or with his legs.
With that thought in mind, though, a little bit of a tighter space here, right? Doesn't it make it tougher to complete those passes against this defense?
And I think it could. And that's the thing. Once the field starts condensing down, of course, there's less field for the defense that they need to cover. But that's where it comes into play with what Rayner has done with his legs here tonight. The defense has to account for that. And there's the potential if he rolls outside and gets outside the pocket, a defender follows him, moves out of place, and it opens up a passing lane down the field.
It's Brown at the bottom of your screen in single coverage, has some room to operate. East can get a first down to the 10. This is Rayner to throw, looking the way of Brown. Pressure in his face, and he's going to go down. Another sack for the Raider defense. And East Forsyth calls their penultimate timeout. Again, it's that second level. It's Jackson Hambris who comes in to make the big stop.
And that was a coverage sack that time, Chris. No one was available on the back end. That defensive backfield shining through yet again for these Reagan Raiders. And it was just a matter of time before this front four got pressure on Rayner and brought him down on that play. Great job by the DBs on that one of Reagan. And then the front four able to finish that play off with a sack and burn another timeout for East Forsyth.
Hambris, the senior. Boy, don't you know that for this senior class, it means something to come over here, your crosstown rival, try to win a game, something that your school has never done.
To make a stamp like that, say we may be the only team that's ever beaten East Forsyth at their place.
At East Forsyth. Of course, Reagan won a game in 2019. But they've never won here at Lewis Stadium. It's 3rd down and 18.
Think about it. They've lost 2 games in their first 3. This Reagan team is hungry. Can they seal the deal here?
4 down Lyman. Design rollout for Rayner. Dumps one down the field. And a catch made by Stokes. He'll be shy of the marker. It brings up 4th down. They need 5 to keep the game alive.
Tell you what, that play's worked all night long, whether it's been rolling out to the left or the right. Just a quick out route by the wide receiver. This time, again, finding his man downfield, Stokes. A nice out route that time, and Rayner's able to find him for an easy connection. And now they're driving yet again. 4th down.
John Gillette in there in coverage now for Reagan. 4th and 5. 1 timeout left for East Forsyth. And it will be Reagan who calls the timeout here. So that leaves Reagan with 1 timeout. Each side now with 1 timeout left for the last 53.5 ticks of this one. We talked about it earlier. Every down, every 3rd down, 4th down, building. And now this is the ball game with 53 seconds left.
And I think that was a really good timeout that time by Coach McGee and his coaching staff over there on the Reagan sideline. Bring your guys together and say, hey, these are our assignments. We're not trying to play hero football here, right? You want to make sure you're handling your business, and we can come out of here with a potential W. They've done a really good job here in the last couple of plays of containing Rayner and keeping him inside the pocket. For East Forsyth, it's going to be tough to find someone downfield in a condensed space against a secondary that has been nothing short of spectacular here this evening.
4th and 5. East Forsyth needs the 10-yard line to keep the game alive.
It's going to be a pass.
Rayner and Porter are in the backfield.
Question is, does number 1 in gray have one more in him?
And now, after everyone gets set, everyone sees the looks, the cat and mouse game continues. East Forsyth calls their final timeout.
A little bit of gamesmanship that time.
Look, 2 coaches who have immense amount of respect for one another. We were down on the field before the game, saw the high fives and the hellos, and I'll tell you what, these 2 coaches know each other very well. They're friendly. This whole conference full of friendly rivalries.
Yep.
I'm excited to watch this conference play out, excited to see these teams as the season progresses. We'll get East and West at the end of the season, down the road. Over in the Village West, by the way, won their conference opener over Mount Tabor tonight. Tabor, who was in the state championship game last year, just loaded with talent in this area.
And when you look at it, I mean, it's not just, it may be friendly because a lot of these guys know each other, especially here with Reagan and East Forsyth, crosstown rivals. These kids, it means a little bit more this game does because they know the opposition personally. On a personal level, they know these guys. But across the conference, it may be friendly, but it's intense. This is going to be a conference to watch. And honestly, top to bottom, you could pick a champion almost at any level.
4th down, 5 to go. Reagan has never won at Fred Lewis Stadium. They could win it on this play. 5 yards from keeping the game alive. This is Rayner. Steps up. Rayner pressured, trying to stretch. Does he get there? Does he get there? He does not. An emotional week for Reagan will culminate in a program-building win for the Raiders.
I was so curious to see if they were going to bring pressure. They brought pressure all night long, especially on this drive. They dropped back. They only rushed 3 that time, dropped 8 back. But even if that was the case, they brought guys up. Everyone rushed to the football as soon as they saw Rayner start to take off. What a great job to rally to the football that time. And Reagan with the stop of the season for them so far.
And up the middle, it was Nick Hall who makes the play. To this point, the season-defining play for this Reagan defense.
And just a phenomenal job by the defense, not just to stop him short, but also grab him and make sure he can't lean forward to get those extra yards and potentially pick up the first. Just sound football across the board and making a play that brings you a monumental win and a first here on the opposite side of Kernersville.
And just probably 2 kneel downs here for Reagan. Actually, 1 kneel down. East Forsyth out of timeouts. And a team that has won a pair of state titles in the last 3 years in East Forsyth. Stunned at home here tonight. Todd Willard, the head coach of East Forsyth, said this is one of the best teams Reagan has ever had. And it started with the defense. And boy, it's the defense that comes up big tonight again on multiple occasions for this Raider club.
He told us they played the schedule. They had it set up because they had no intention of doing anything but winning this conference, this league, this gauntlet that they have to now go through for the rest of the season. And if you wanted to send a message, it was going to start tonight. And Coach McGee, his staff and his players have done just that tonight, coming in to East Forsyth and stunning the Eagles.
Reagan does not have to run another play. A hard-fought effort, but it'll be a happy trip home for Reagan tonight. For the first time ever, the Raiders are victorious at East Forsyth, and they announce to the rest of 4A, it could be a dogfight in this league.
I mean, you've got to know how much this means to the Reagan community. Just coming here and battling. They hung with this East Forsyth team in the first half. Went step for step, toe-to-toe, punch for punch. And came out in the second half and asserted their dominance on this football game. Finished drives, made the plays that mattered. And they come out of here with a W on their first win ever at East Forsyth.
It was Noah Haynes who had the big interception to set up the game-winning score. And this is our Roan Law play of the game. Roan Law triad attorneys who are here to help. It's this big interception by the big middle linebacker, Noah Haynes. The junior makes the play, sets up the Raiders. Eventually, it's the game-winning score for the John Gottlieb, the big running back, and the victorious Raiders win it tonight in Kernersville. Stay with us. We'll have more post-game coverage in just a moment on our Friday Night Rivals presented by Roan Law. Let's take a look at tonight's Carolina Classic Fair player of the game. The Carolina Classic Fair second to none in 2021. No surprise who it is. Big number 2, John Gillette of Reagan tonight. Gillette, phenomenal. 31 carries, 131 yards. His only touchdown, that game-winning score, as it's Reagan for the first time ever winning at East Forsyth, 22-18. And Hannah Brady down on the field is standing by with a happy bunch of Raiders as she hands out some hardware. Hannah, take it away.
I'm down here on the sideline with the winners of the game. Josh McGee, congratulations on a 22-18 win. I know that this is the first time that you've won in Lewis Stadium. How does that feel tonight?
It's great. I'm gonna get choked up, but this football team's been through a lot in the last 2 weeks. 27 was with us tonight, and our guys played really hard. They played for 4 quarters, and they played together. So very proud.
Absolutely. And so what are you hoping to continue, moving forward in the season with a level of intensity?
Just keep loving each other, keep going to practice every day. We preach it every day you've got to practice really hard to be successful on Friday, and keep doing what we do. And I'm, again, very proud of our guys.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations for being tonight's Friday Night Rivals winners. We're going to present you with this trophy tonight. And congratulations again. Enjoy your celebration. Chris and Mark, back to you.
Coach McGee said it. The bye week came at a good time for this Reagan team. An emotional win tonight. A season-building win for this battle-tested bunch of Raiders who win for the first time ever at Freddie Lewis Stadium. And this is a Reagan club that is poised to host more hardware as the season goes along. We'll take a look now at tonight's West Rock scoring summary. West Rock, your local leader in paper, packaging, and displays. Come join our team at jobs.westrock.com. And it was Reagan using a big second half to come from behind to win it.
Yeah, just the adversity that this group has gone through so far this season. And you got to think so battle-tested, so ready these kids are, and just playing for something bigger than themselves now at this point, and just a great win, an historical win for this Reagan program.
We want to take a moment to thank everyone who made tonight's game possible. Thanks to Capitol Metals and High Point for providing the plaques and trophies seen in tonight's game, Cook's Rental for those high end zone views, and to Mountain Fried Chicken for providing our crew meal. Join us next Friday, 7:30 p.m., September 24th, from Greensboro, as the Grimsley Whirlies take on the Vikings of Northwest Guilford right here on My 48 Sports. For my partner, Mark Covert, Hannah Brady on the sideline, our stat man, Carter Hicks, and our great team in the truck, led tonight by Russell Jones and Lori Bates. This is Chris Edwards saying good night from Kernersville, where Reagan comes on the road and wins for the first time ever at East Forsyth. So long, everybody.